belt tied around me, heart within. Doors might open any moment now, gotta be prepared somehow. I'm ready and waiting, fire burning bright. I'm ready and waiting through longest night. Won't let it die out, won't fade away. Ready and waiting for that day. Burning, burning, never gonna stop. Burning, burning, till the moment comes.
Hey everybody, good to see you. Thank you for coming. I'm glad you could make it. Yes, I have to say it was an exciting stream earlier. We did the Satan short season roundtable chat, and it was good. Would have been great if Dave and Sean could have showed up. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it. It was good to see the rest of them, so I really appreciate everyone coming. I think we got most of what we wanted to get out so while, so it was good. And the people in the chat just showed what we would say would show anyway, but yeah, it's sad. We do pray for you guys, and we hope you come right. But it's good to see everybody in the YouTube lands. Appreciate you all coming. Please just do me a favor and just hit that like and share the show, excuse me, so we can get the show out to a wide audience, and it does help the show to grow. This is part 2 of the series. Well, it's actually like a part 3, because we started this on blind debating, but we're making it as part 2 on the series. So yeah, it's exciting stuff, but what can we say? Let's make myself a bit bigger, and maybe I'll put it on my side. Okay, well, it's good to see you all. Thank you for coming. Sandra, what's up, man? Michael Khan, glad you could make it. Iwan, hello. Saddlebum, what's up? Good to see you too. I did see someone else in chat earlier. I think it was Sean Hawkins. And Jesus above my name. Good to see you too. Thank you for coming. You guys rock. I'm glad you enjoyed the stream last time. It was really good. Yes. Okay. So we are carrying on from about 36, 37 minutes. That's where we ended last night. And well, let's see where we get to and how it gets into it. I don't really trust what they've been presenting, to be honest. And well, I think it's very apparent that I think this is all just scripted, and they're trying to make flat earthers look kind of not normal.
That they're getting paid off by the government, that they're now part of the conspiracy. Nothing is to be believed by them. And it's really been really awful to watch. They're not the only ones. There was another lady who was pretty prominent in the Behind the Curve documentary.
Patricia?
Her name is Patricia
Whoa,
Steer.
whoa. How does she know about Patricia Steer if she knows nothing about flat earth, if she hasn't looked into it? That's a bit odd. So Melissa, I would be calling that out if you claim to have not looked into this before. How do you know about Patricia Steer? It's a bit weird. But yeah, it's a bit ignorant based as well, unscripted. Yeah, I would say trust God over man. I agree. The poll is 18 votes so far, so let's get the poll votes up. But people need to stop trusting man over God. 72% say yes, 100% agree. No, 28%. And that's the unfortunate truth with a lot of global Christians today. They trust man over God. And I don't know about you, but that's not something I can't accept. I wouldn't be able to go to God and say, dude, you know what? You created me. You're an awesome God. Everything's great. But you know what? You lied to me, because I trust that this guy that call every man a liar, like the Bible says, is telling the truth. And you, God, that what the Bible says can't lie, is lying to me. So yeah, it's quite sad. Hey, Deb, Ben in the house. What's up, man? Glad you can make it.
Yeah, Steer, yeah.
She had a YouTube channel as well. She has since put another YouTube channel up, but it's no longer about the flat Earth. She's changed the subject a little. She's no longer a flat earther, but she's just recently came out with a book talking about her experiences. And she was bullied.
She wrote this book quite quickly, to be honest. Almost like it was written a long time ago, waiting to be in script to be able to just release once this happened. I don't know if you guys all realized, but when it comes to these ex-flat earthers, they all seem to have the same story. We're just being bullied. Everybody, flat earth's just a cult, blah, blah, blah. It's almost like they all had the story lined up before TFE. And TFE was just coming so they can have their kind of out of the system. TFE is just a big publicity stunt, in other words. It's just bringing out the grifters, you could say, in the community. That's practically about it. I don't know if you guys saw Witsit's latest stream now, pushing this Ethereum conference. I mean, the bottom range ticket, I think, was something like $69. There's no ways I'm going to pay $69 to watch someone on the internet talk about total nonsense. I mean, the one woman he had on there that he's been trying to push so great is literally just talking about vibrational healing. Yeah, things like that. Vibrational healing. She's a doctor in medicine or something, but she teaches that vibrations heal your body. Things like that. Who would in their right mind pay $69 to go and watch that? And then they got other people obviously talking whatever they talk. Yes, Jaren and Witsit's obviously going to have their debate sometime soon. Getting that set up. Yeah, David, it's $70 for the bottom of the range. I think the VIP ticket was over $100, or was it $93 for the VIP? I mean, let me put it into perspective quickly. $69 in rands, okay? Remember, I work in rands. To me, 1,200 rand a ticket. Look at that. So this is how much it would cost me to just have an entry ticket to watch an online show talk about nonsense. There's no ways I'm going to pay that. Who in their right mind will pay something like that? I mean, it's just showing that it is all about the money for these guys. That's it. I mean, Witsit has been very quiet lately since TFE, and now all of a sudden he's back with a vengeance, making people pay so much money to see some online conference that you pay more for than what you pay to go to an actual conference. So yeah, it's crazy. Also, he's trying to justify his grift by claiming it's not a grift because he believes in what he's pushing, what he's selling. He's not a snake oil salesman, while his body language says otherwise. But yeah, the Jaren and Witsit debate is going to be boring. It's going to be very scripted. I know it's going to be pushed as a big thing. The only reason I would actually be interested in it is because Sean might be the moderator. Other than that, what will they really debate? Because Jaren will just sit there and go, you know what, guys? We saw the sun at TFE. So because we saw the sun at TFE, therefore it cannot be a globe. And he's going to expect Witsit the whole time to go and try defend while the sun works on an AE map model. Yes, and so the whole story is going to come up to Witsit, and Witsit's going to have to say, we don't actually know. But if we look at Joe Hanvey's model, or we look at this, and we can just say, well, it could be reflection, it could be that. He's falling into the trap. Witsit's going to be with, let me fall into the Glober trap and place the burden onto myself. And I do see this playing out as, at the end of the day, Witsit's also going to turn. I'm calling it now like I called Jaron out and I called all the others. They're using this literally as publicity to turn. Just like Jaron used TFE to turn, Whitson's going to use this opportunity eventually to just say, yeah, I tried. We couldn't get it right. No one was able to do it. We couldn't get support. Everybody was against me. So, yeah, the Earth's not flat. That's what they're going to do. So you heard it first. I'm saying this. Whitson will eventually turn, and he's going to use this for that. Anyway, let's get back onto what we're doing.
Bullied. It's not treated well by people she used to call her friends. It's a really difficult situation, but not uncommon for groups like this. Once you're in it, and they love you like family, but once you leave it, you're shunned or
That kind of sounds to me like the Globe, because that is exactly how it was for all of us. When we were Globers, oh, you guys are the best people ever. So loving, so special. You're so smart. You know, as soon as you leave the Globe cult, you guys are uneducated, you're liars, you're grifters, you're just worthless, you don't know anything, you're stupid, you're slow, you don't research, getting ridiculed, people phoning your work to tell your boss that you're a flat earther, you should leave your job, calling you, abusers, child abusers, and you shouldn't be married, you shouldn't have children, you shouldn't be allowed to even eat. That's the kind of things we get from Globers because we left the Globe cult. Not the other way around, darling. Remember, let's for instance say like Jaron and them. When they were in the, how can I put it, flat earth, they were already called out as shills. They were already called out as grifters. They were already called out for all the nonsense they were pushing. Okay? Me included. When I started my channel, I was already calling this out. So, when they were called these things, they were still flat earthers. Okay? The truth hurts, in other words. It's not called bullying, it's called facts. It's called face reality. People were planted into flat earth to make flat earth look stupid. So when flat earthers like Jaron and what's her name came as a plant to push the flat earth community in a certain direction, the rest of us got shunned for talking against them. Now when those flat earthers are no longer flat earthers because of the sky, which he was been talking against the whole career, he says that's why it is now a globe, because he can't work out in his puny mind why the sun can work on a flat earth. Well, let me just put it this way. We don't know what the sun is. We do know that the sun moves across the sky from us. It's in the sky. God placed the sun in the sky. Plain and simple. What is the sun? We don't know. Do we need to say what the sun is? No, we don't. It's not our burden. Do we need to say why the sun is where it is? No, we don't. We can tell you where it is because we can see it. We can tell you where it is because God said he placed it there. Now, when you come and say, well, you know what? Because you guys make a claim you don't know what the sun is, how can you tell us what's reality or not? Simple. Just like you guys can't tell us what gravity is, get it? We don't need to tell you what the sun is. You guys have the burden of proof. You guys are the ones claiming what you know what the sun is. You guys are claiming how far the sun is. You are claiming the composition of the sun and where it is. Now, you want us to replace your belief system when we show you it's impossible. Yes, your belief system is impossible. It violates natural law. So we don't need to replace anything other than just point out it's a violation. It doesn't suit reality. Yes, exactly, Michael. It's all just Satan's weak plan.
Left to the side, and they just speak badly about you for the rest of your life.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. Wait. Number one, I had no idea Patricia Steer is her name, right?
Yeah.
I always want to say Steele.
David Banner, thank you for £2. He says, it's wild flats. How do you mentally flip like Jaren? That's the thing. Jaren didn't actually flip. Jaren, what he did was he took his opportunity. Remember, the same people that were ridiculing him for the last 10 years are the same people now feeding him, the same people giving him money and supporting him. The people that were supporting him against these same people that were ridiculing him are the ones that he shunned and threw in the dustbin. What does that tell you about him? He didn't mentally flip. He was never a flat earther. He was planted in flat earth to be the flat earther. This is what I'm saying. When it comes to this TFE thing, it's a long process, long planned. This whole thing is not just an overnight think story to try and make, how can I say, flat earth look dumb. They had this whole thing planned out. This is not one person's brainchild. This is definitely more than one, where they actually had a conglomeration meeting and thought, we have to figure something out, because we can't let flat earthers know the truth. We can't let flat earth get out to everybody. And because they are struggling their darndest to get flat earth to be suppressed, what was the best opportunity? Can't beat them, join them. Hence, Jaren and co. Now, because they were placed into the flat earth, and they were there literally to make flat earth look as stupid as possible, hence behind them, behind the curve and all this nonsense, which you were called out for. That wasn't, how can I say, that was more of a foundation to make flat earth look unprepared and dishonest. Thanks, Bob, in other words. This is why I was so against Glowbusters, because their whole group was just a fan club based on if you're in the inner circle. Remember, they actually had me on Glowbusters once, and they were literally attacking me as a guest just because I said I didn't agree with what they were pushing. Yes, I was attacked on Glowbusters as a flat earther by the so-called flat earthers who are now moaning that flat earthers are attacking them. Odd. Maybe think about that, guys. If you understand this whole thing scripted, you're going to look at it as a total different way.
Patricia
Yes.
here. I did not know that she's no longer a flat earther.
Yeah, look at her stuff. Yeah.
Very interesting. I'm going to have to get a hold of her book. Okay, so yes, so much. You've explained this so well. I want everybody to kind of take a minute to understand what it means, what Lindsay just talked about with groupthink. Okay, we see this in other groups. Okay, we see this in high school. Okay, I mean,
hey, what's up, New World Slayer? What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, brother? I know I missed the last one, but I was watching yesterday.
Okay, it's good to see you.
Yep, good to be here.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on this whole conference from Whitsett?
Honestly, I don't know too much about it, to be honest. I just hopped in the live stream, so I'm a little late.
But yeah, that's let's see if I can actually get it up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to learn about it. Like I said, I'm not very familiar with it.
Because it is very in your face, grifty. Sorry. Let's see. This is him, the Etheric Summit. That is.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of this, the Etheric Summit. Yeah.
Still pushing ether nonsense, but yeah. Anyway, let's go see what the tickets is, guys. Obviously, time's up because they've started already. General admission, $65 just for a bottom of the line ticket. VIP, $97. Now,
Who was the guy, the flat earther who was live streaming maybe like a week ago? I hopped in his live stream and he was promoting this, and he was like, "Everybody buy tickets," and I forget the guy's name. I think he was the one that everybody said was like he went MIA after the TFE because he didn't want to like say what he thought about it or something like that. I forget his name
Isn't
though.
it Robbie Davidson?
Yeah, I want to say it is. Let me look that up.
No, it's
If I
Robbie
see the
Davidson.
picture, I'll. Yeah, no,
He's got that classic 90s hairstyle.
no, it was
DJ
Witsit Gets It was the
This
guy.
is Witsit Gets It. This is Witsit Gets It.
Oh, this is him. Oh, okay.
This is his Etheric Summit.
Yeah, I wasn't so interested, so I just hopped out of the live stream pretty quick. So I didn't get the context.
But I want to ask you, would you pay $65 for an online conference?
Oh, this is online. Oh, no, certainly not.
And that's the bottom of the range. You can still get a VIP for $97 too.
Let's see, what do you get for the 65? Full access.
Full access to all live presentations, entry to the virtual event hub, access to live performances, participation in general chat and community features, access to sponsor booths and resources, standard giveaway eligibility, on-demand access to main session recordings.
I'm just curious, what would be the live performances? Do you think they got like a band on camera?
They do have Conspiracy Music Guru there. As far
Oh,
as I know.
okay.
Look, they got different people, but this
Interesting.
is like, I still wouldn't
Seems like a
waste my
cash
money
grab.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, these are those speakers. Witsit Gets It. This woman, apparently she teaches vibrational healing.
Oh,
So-
okay. So some etheric stuff, basically.
It's literally new age garbage all these people preach.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not familiar with a lot of these names on the list, but a couple of them for sure.
Yeah, so the pre-show will just be lobby. It's virtual, you see? Virtual. So it's on the internet. Conspiracy Music Guru having music, again, virtual. Then you have Austin Witsit just having his chat or whatever, which is virtual. Greg Reese, personal solutions in a tyrannical world. kind of sounds like a psychologist. Anyway, virtual. Amanda Vollmer, instantaneous across the field, frequency healing, vibrational medicine, and the return of etheric medicine.
I knew it had something to do with the ether. I was like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh yeah.
What nonsense. Virtual. Topher Gardner, sphering the hypercubes of reality, whatever that is supposed to mean. Also virtual. David Avocado Wolf, super herbs, medicinal mushrooms, charcoal carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, invincible immunity fasting. Let's just see how much words we can throw into there. Virtual.
The funny part is, I think out of all of them, that seems like the most legit so far. And even at that, I'd still like probably not attend.
Quite crazy. And this is the big main event. Jaron Campanella versus Austin Witsit cosmology debate, which is, again, virtual. VIP debate after show. Virtual. Then again, now this is day 2. Pre-show lobby day 2, which is virtual. Opening entertainment. They don't even say who it is. Virtual. Dr. Tom Cohen. Are we made of chemicals? No shit, Sherlock. A different view of living.
That's
beings.
hilarious.
Yeah. Like, state the obvious. Virtual. Okay. Dr. Barlando. That's all it says. Nothing further. Virtual. Mark Gober. Upside down reasoning. Also just virtual. Okay. Alex Zek. Reframing the contagion paradigm. Again, virtual. Dr. Andy Kaufman. Longevity unlocked. Ancient wisdom. Modern myths. And the 6 pillars of limitless life. He probably sits there and says, guys, if you can dream it, you can become it. It's all virtual. And then VIP Q&A panel. And then closing entertainment, and then VIP hangout. Who in their right mind will pay a cent for this?
Is there any way to see like how many people are attending or anything like that?
No, that doesn't say.
'Cause I'm curious to know how many people dished out money already.
That's the thing. People were paying for I think I even saw people were like offering to donate people's tickets for this. Why would you? If this is not a grift, then I don't know. I mean, should I also hold some kind of a online conference and just have mumbo jumbo spoken by people? I mean,
You just get a bunch of New Agers and put them all together. Like,
because that's what it is.
That's totally going to help Flat Earth, bro. Definitely. Let's get a bunch of New
That's what I'm
Agers
saying.
to
This
push
is
the
making
agenda.
Flat Earth. This is literally making Flat Earth look like a grift.
Yeah, no, it is, because a lot of that stuff has nothing to do with Flat Earth. What does etheric healing have to do with the shape of the Earth? Shit if I know.
But reading this anyway, do you think any of this is worth over $60?
I don't think so. And the funny part is, I don't think I saw a single title with Flat Earth in the title. Like, I'm convinced none of these even have to do with Flat Earth.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the cosmology debate between him and Jaren. That's the only thing with Flat Earth related there. So it's
I will say this, just to give him the benefit of the doubt, at least you get a lot for your money. There's like 15 conferences. They're all useless, and I wouldn't listen to any of them. But...
Yeah, but it's an online. It's not really a conference. It's literally, it's online. What we're doing now is practically a conference for free. We're giving people how not to treat Flat Earth. That's a conference, guys. Welcome to our session of how globers are bigots. There we go. So I find it really sad that people go to such desperation. I mean, remember, it wasn't the other day that Whitsitt was demanding 10 grand.
Yeah.
Why? So what's going on that he has to make so much money all of a sudden? And like David said, he's a business partner with Jaren. Still is.
So there's going to be some what's the word I'm looking for here? Skipping my mind. But essentially, like, I mean, obviously there's going to be some bad blood there if the anti-Flat Earther is now partnered with the Flat Earther and they're running a Flat Earth convention. Like, that just doesn't seem seems counterintuitive.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense because they are business partners, and yet now they are debating on the same conference.
You know, I'd like to see somebody, just take the L for the community and just go and screenshot everything and then make like a whole video trolling them and saying how stupid it was. I would totally watch that.
The problem is, I think a lot of people that do pay for it do believe that nonsense, though.
Oh, 100%, dude. I bet you there's people like, oh, dude, I'm going to learn the 6 pillars, and they're just so hyped about it.
And the problem is a lot of that information they do push there is literally just based on Kabbalah and mysticism. It's nothing new under the sun. It's just rebranded and repackaged.
And the sad part is, I think a lot of this, like, it kind of, I don't know the way to put it, but like essentially like a lot of these certain things, right? They might have some validity to them, but ultimately like Christ is the ultimate power, and like we put our faith in Christ, right? But I think a lot of people see this and they'll see like the videos or whatever, and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, like it really there's really power here. There's really something to it." But that's really demonic power. It's nothing to do with something that you would want, as a Christian. But if you package it as a Flat Earth thing and you take New Age out of the movement, maybe you'll start convincing people that, oh, maybe it's a Christian philosophy that we're talking about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, Whitsitt's supposed to be claiming to be a Christian, but he doesn't push any Christian values. All he's pushing is New Age nonsense. So it's really sad because a lot of the people that do follow him literally used to, for instance, follow me, okay?
Right.
And we used to all be like good friends and stuff. And then they just turned and started defending Whitsitt after the whole TFE thing.
Yeah.
And they showed their, how can I say, allegiance side to non-Christian behavior. You know what I mean? So it's really sad to see this because those are the same people supporting his New Age nonsense. and it unfortunately shows where their heart lies.
I mean, maybe it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Because people can, I mean, at least me and you, for example, we can see straight through it. And we're like, all right, why is a Christian holding like essentially a Kabbalah conference with New Ageism, right? Like that's pretty easy for me to kind of dismiss them. And, you know, maybe it'll work kind of like, you know, the pandemic where a lot of people, it was for control, but it woke people up. And the same thing here. People might see the conference and they're like, wow, you know what? I might second question this guy because this conference doesn't look too good, you know? So it might actually lead people away in a sense too, depending.
But that's what I'm saying. I think this whole thing is just another ploy in trying to discredit Flat Earth. Because they've trying to push a narrative onto Flat Earthers so much these days that we are just haters, we're in a cult, and we don't appreciate anybody, we're just dumb, we just subhuman or anything. And now they're trying to push the final nail to say, well, they're also just grifters. They're just here to grift and deceive. And that's exactly what Whitsett, his whole thing he's pushing now, seems to be looking at. Let's grift as much as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite sad.
So this is like, I guess I've asked this question, but I just want to make sure, like, is this specifically a Flat Earth conference, or is this more so just like whatever flies? Because I don't think etheric healing has anything to do with it, so it must not be fully Flat Earth.
But that's the thing. The debate is Flat Earth, apparently, the cosmology. Oh, okay. And everything else is just special guest speakers.
Who probably don't even believe in the Flat Earth, which is like weird.
I don't know. So it's nonsense. I mean, just because someone believes the ether can heal you doesn't literally make it so. And because they have a doctorate in, medicinal healing, herbal healing or whatever, doesn't literally mean they are able to heal you with vibrations. Speaking out of personal experience, I know someone who literally had a stroke because of vibrational healing. They got on one of those special machines that was shaking, they're giving them vibrations. It's supposed to heal them. They literally had a stroke because there was a blood clot they didn't know of, and it shook it loose. Okay? You know what was the excuse afterwards? Oh, no, you just do it at own risk.
Yeah, but I don't think they gave that disclaimer the first time, did they?
No, after the person paid so much money for how many months of doing this, they ended up almost dying for something that's supposed to be healing them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot of that. That's why you can't just trust anybody with any medicinal, how can I put it, kind of advice.
Right.
So, yeah, it's sad. And no, don't trust doctors either, 100%. Just to let you know. Okay, let's carry on with the actual show.
Talking about the fear to go against the group, but I'm going to preface this by saying that if the group that you are in is believing something that's not true, verifiably, and you leave it, that's a good thing. If the government...
Agreed.
Yeah.
Hence why we left the globe.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, when you leave the globe, that's exactly why we leave it, because we don't observe Earth moving. We don't observe this gravity you speak of. We don't observe Earth curve. We don't observe this space violation, space vacuum. The second law of thermodynamics violation, space vacuum. We don't observe these things. Hence, yeah, we left it for reality. Ozzy, I'm not saying don't trust doctors. I'm saying don't trust all doctors. Just because they have a doctorate in their name doesn't mean trust them. That's what I'm trying to say.
There's a song, I'm not going to quote the whole song, but in the song, he said, the nurses care, but they don't. And by that, he means like the pharmaceutical and the hospitals don't really care. So you might have a beautiful nurse and she does everything to take care of you and she's very nice, but ultimately, like her boss, the one paying them, most likely does not care and they just want to keep you sick for money.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if there are no patients, how will they make money? I mean, if you think about it, a lot of the time, they give kind of treatments to someone and they are negative side effects based on that treatment. And what do? Well, this gives you this negative side effect. Let's give you something for that side effect. Oh, but this also gives you side effects for that. So let's give you, so at the end of the day, you just keep on giving more money to pay for all the side effects that's been given to you in the first place by the doctor.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because a lot of these doctors are somewhat unaware, especially if you go to like a liberal medical college or whatever, like you're not going to be having the mindset that, maybe the pharmaceutical companies are not in our best interest.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm not saying don't trust all doctors. You do definitely have doctors out there that want the best for you. But I would say the whole thing out of the whole, it's still just they need the money. Why do you think they don't help anybody if you haven't put a large sum of cash deposit down before they help you? I mean, you can literally be sitting in a hospital bleeding to death. If you haven't put down a deposit, they won't help you. So yes, quite insane.
Or Satan. It's trying to fool us all.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to pull the wool over our eyes. And if the government is trying to hide it, wouldn't this be a chance for the government to shut somebody like not William Duffy,
William.
a chance to shut somebody?
How do you know his name's
So
William?
she does know Flat Earth. Yeah, she knows Duffy.
She knew about Patricia Steer. She knows about Duffy.
Oh, she's getting exposed. I guess she did do some research.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. She definitely has known this. And look at her face when she said that. She's yeah. Don't talk about him. You're not supposed to know about this, remember?
Wow.
Got caught out, Melissa. Sad. Sad.
That's coming on YouTube or speaking out against it or whatever it is. It's almost like they don't care. They just think, okay, you're fine. You believe the earth is flat, whatever, Joe, I'm going to go about my day and be a government official.
No, that's not how it is. What happens is they start an anti-flat earth channel, and they build their whole career on defaming flat earthers, trying to, how can I say, do what you two are practically doing on your video right now, trying to set a false narrative about a certain group. That's called bigotry. Because you are trying to make flat earthers look like uneducated, untrustworthy, cult believers who never finished school. That's practically what they do. And they are become snake oil salesmen, because at the end of the day, they prioritize getting money by defaming another group. That's exactly what anti-flat earthers do. So have you not realized, ever since I've stopped really giving the anti-flat earthers talk time with them, they've been very desperate bottom of the barrel, trying to get content from me. So they'll take one little snippet from me and then make a whole show about one little snippet, and it has got nothing to do with what they even said, just so they have content. So yes, they need us, because without flat earth, they have nothing. They have no purpose. Because the whole anti-flat earth movement is literally based on ridiculing flat earth. Nothing more. There's no truth to it. And hence why Jaren and the other guys are so-called globers now, is because it's a bigger market. You make a lot more money being a ridiculer of flat earth. Like I said, if I really was in it for the money, guys, I could have easily just flipped. I could have said, no, guys, it's definitely a globe. You guys are all stupid and morons. And I would have like 40,000 subscribers by now. And, going all these long rampage streams where they're just paying me all the time. But no. Why? Why do you think I'm stepping on everybody's toes? It's because I'm for truth. That's it. Think about it logically, guys. Why would people deliberately hurt their channel if they're in it for money? So yeah.
They don't shut them up. They don't, you know, they don't Jeffrey Epstein them.
There are conspiracies that they
Wow.
have.
They don't Jeffrey Epstein.
That was a good one. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow. That was good.
Well, yeah, we need to Jeffrey Epstein all these flat earthers.
Quite crazy.
You heard it here first.
Mm-hmm.
Been taken care of, so to speak.
Okay, but what does that mean? What
Yeah.
are those
So
conspiracies?
I watched an interview between Mark Sargent and Jeff Zwierink of Reasons to Believe. It was actually a really interesting video to watch. I don't even remember which YouTube channel it was, but the host is hilarious. Can't remember his name, but it was interesting because they talked about this idea of keeping it a secret. And Jeff, who's an astrophysicist, brilliant man, he looks at Mark and he goes, "So you're telling me?"
Have you realized every time she talks about some globe proponent, she hypes them and says, "Oh, they're brilliant," or "They're smart," or "They're such great people." But every time she speaks about a flat earther, she demeans them. Have you realized that?
No, that's very true. Yeah, she's done that multiple times.
Yeah, she gives a negative connotation on any flat earther, but always gives a positive connotation on any glober. That's literally showing a bias. It's quite crazy. What the votes say so far, guys? 39 votes. Good, it's gone up a bit. People need to stop trusting man over God. 69% say yes. 31% say no. Who would say trust man over God? There's something wrong with you, man. But
I think you might like that Ethereal Summit if you're on that boat.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We got some Ethereal attenders.
But yeah, guys, hit the likes, man. Share the show.
One thing that's weird, so I sorry, I don't want to interrupt. I hopped on YouTube and I was looking at everybody who's live streaming because it tells you like everybody you're subscribed to who's live, and you're not on that list. I don't know why that is. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It says, you know, this guy's live, and when I scroll to your channel on the list of everybody live, you're not on the list. I don't know if that's like a censorship thing, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention because that's a little weird. I had to specifically go to your channel to find your live stream.
That's the thing that's been happening a lot with my channel. People saying they've just unsubscribed for no reason. Their notifications just don't pop up for me. Even when I bring videos out, I see literally I have views. Half an hour later, I have less views than I had a half an hour before.
That's very weird.
Yeah, it's quite sad. And like I say, you've seen lately my subscribers have gone down. But if I go through my analytics, there's no minus subscribers. There's plus subscribers.
Oh, so it's probably intentional by the algorithm.
It's really weird. I've tried to contact YouTube support. They can't give me an answer. They just don't really say anything. So yeah, it's good to see it start going up now again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've lost like 600 subs in the last month and a half on analytics that don't show where I'm losing subs. So that's the kind of thing going on with my channel, guys. But yeah, I've heard this a lot. People say, "Hey, why am I not subscribed to you anymore? I thought you're not on anymore." It just doesn't tell me you're live. It just doesn't give me your content. But then it gives them things like McToon.
Yeah, or Duffy or whoever, right? Or even these ladies. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yep. So it's quite an odd thing.
Thousands of people over the course of history have kept this secret that the moon landing is fake, that we're not actually going up into space.
First of all, you don't need thousands of people to keep the moon landings faked. How many supposed astronauts have gone to space from conception till now? What, 23?
Not many.
That's not thousands of people, darling.
You know, on this topic from a Christian perspective, at least like coming from a flat Earth perspective, I would say if you're able to understand like the elites and all the things they do, then you'll understand it's not that hard for thousands of people all to lie in the same accord, because they lie about it all the time. You know what I mean? Not just flat Earth. They lie about a lot of things. But them using flat Earth is like, oh, are all these people really lying? What about the Illuminati? You don't think they're lying about stuff too? And there's a lot of people involved in that, you know? So it's just weird how it's kind of pick and choosing.
Yeah, it's just based on compartmentalization. So
Yeah.
let's, for instance, why do they think that you're able to get now the JFK assassination documents that they were speaking of earlier? People lied by keeping it secret, correct?
Yeah.
For what, like 50 years now? So how are they able to keep that a big secret, but they are not able to keep flat Earth a secret? Yeah. It just doesn't make sense to me. There's so much declassified documents that come out showing thousands of people have lied for many, many years to everybody.
Yeah, and they continue.
But it's a big stretch to say the government's lying to you about the Earth's shape. Yes, there's a reason they would lie to you about that. Like I said before, if it had to come out today that the government was caught lying about the shape, there would be no more government. Everybody will literally just have chaos and not, they're not take part in anything the government says. There will be no government. They'll have no control.
Yeah, I think having people like us is extremely beneficial. Because, I mean, it gets to a point where, I mean, if enough people are aware of the narrative, they're going to have to switch the narrative and play it differently. And that just gives us more time to see their next move. You know what I mean?
But you see, the reason Flat Earth is attacked so much is because the ideology we stand for. We stand for self-thinkers. We don't just follow the crowd. We don't just accept being herded like sheep to the slaughter, because if they say jump, we're supposed to say how high. Flat Earthers aren't that way.
Yeah.
Flat Earthers think for themselves and say, well, we've looked at this logically. We don't agree with you. We don't want to follow you. And that's a big threat to what they stand for, because what they stand for is control. And if they can't control you, what are they going to do? So yes, there's a reason why Flat Earth is such a threat, and why they doing everything they can socially to try and squash Flat Earth, because they know it's still spreading even though they're trying their darndest.
They do a pretty good job, man. Like, even I have some I mean, it's like lingering doubts. It's not like I actually think this, but it's like, man, dude, it's really crazy to think that they really did lie. All these thousands of people actually lied. Like, it's kind of nuts to me, but it's true. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, it's very unlikely, so it's not. Like, I mean, it is the case, but I can understand even from a flat Earth perspective. Sometimes I'm like, wow. I mean, even I'm like, this is like a whole machine. You know what I mean? Like, this is way beyond, like, I mean, it even might be spiritual to a sense. Like, I don't know if man alone could manipulate and do all of these terrible things all by themselves. You know what I mean? Which goes to the fact that it's an antichrist movement as well, going against flat Earth, because obviously we know that God created the Earth how it was. So
well, let's put it this way. We understand that when Jesus is going to come, okay, a lot of flat earthers, well, all flat earthers, understand that there's no such thing as aliens and things.
Yeah.
The Globers, on the other hand, do believe there's such things as aliens. So let's say Jesus does return. What's the narrative they can feed them?
He might be an alien.
It was an alien, and the people,
Yeah.
it was just literally an alien that came. Don't trust Jesus. It's not Jesus. Jesus is just a fictional story, guys.
Well, I think that's the big thing about one of the big reasons to push the globe is really end times and all of that, you know, like, because I mean, under my assumption, let's just say aliens or whatever, like, I wouldn't assume they're aliens. They're probably coming from the ground, you know what I mean? And then they're saying they're coming from the sky. It's the total opposite. Like, it's literally the opposite of what's actually happening, and everybody's buying.
They're already on Earth. They're already on Earth. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the thing is, this is why we laugh whenever they're like, "Oh, this comet is so close nearby us. It's got 10% chance of hitting Earth." It's like, no, you guys are literally just being fear-mongered into believing nonsense. It's very simple. So when you are just trusting this globe naive narrative, it's all faith-based from a pagan belief system. That's it. There's no reality to it. It's a show.
I think they do a really good job because, like, I'm under the assumption there's probably a lot of NASA workers that probably don't, like, they're not in the loop. They don't know it's flat. They're just on a computer doing some simulation. You know what I mean? So, like, not everybody has to lie in the first place. I mean, I don't know how many people work at NASA, but I'd be willing to bet maybe 2 to 3% know the Earth's flat, and the rest are just in the dark. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they really think it's a ball. They don't need proof because it's all, they've already been conditioned to believe it in the first place.
Yeah, well, that's why when compartmentalization comes in.
Yeah.
Let's, for instance, happen that you end up getting a job at NASA, and while you've worked your way up the ranks, and you get to like a certain level, and they disclose certain things to you, like, for instance, let's say the Earth is flat, but they tell you, listen here, there's a issue though. You cannot tell this. You have to take this to your grave because you're doing this for the betterment of man. You can't tell anybody the Earth's flat because if you had to do this, there'll be chaos. The government will be thrown away. Everything will just go into chaos. The whole life as we know it will end. People will go berserk. You know what I mean?
And they're not actually wrong in saying that. I mean, that probably would happen.
Exactly. They play on people's emotions, almost like blackmailing them with emotions.
Yeah.
And say,
Or even
well,
their job. I mean, dude, if I was a really high up in NASA and I said I was a flat earther, I'd probably get demoted. Like, I don't see why not.
Yeah. And also to think about it, why would people want to go against a very well-paying job?
Yeah.
So when they say, well, you know, this is the reason why you should keep at moral standings. Well, let's look at, we can give you financial stability as well. You know, you got children, you want to send them to college. You know, being an astronaut, we can give them special privileges. They can get into whatever university you want them to go to, get any education you want them to. So the person will look at like, well, yeah, I want my family to have the best life they can. I don't want to be the reason for society to fall and go into array. So I will just, you know, hold this little white lie. I'm not lying because I'm not saying anything. I'm just having my job. So yeah, compartmentalization is a real thing. And it's literally been part of how governments operate from the beginning of diplomacy.
Another weird thing is, because obviously there's a lot of NASA documents that say like flat, rigid, non-moving atmosphere and all those things, and it's just so weird how like, at least the way I've seen it described is like, at least according to this NASA documents, a lot of the things that work on flat Earth work on the globe too. So now they don't have to fight the flat Earth because they're like, well, it works on both models, so it doesn't matter whether it's a ball or a rigid atmosphere with a non-moving surface. Same thing, right? Which is like, I wouldn't agree with that, but they like to explain it away like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is that way. But I don't know if you know David Beverly.
No,
He's
I
a freaking
don't
computer
think
geek.
so.
Him and his wife worked for NASA. He actually went to Antarctica to McMurdo Station to work on satellite array technology and things for satellites. Right. And he's a flat earther, and he understands that you require the flat earth to do the mapping they needed for their satellites. Yes, it can work on flat and globe. And people understand that. The problem is the globers don't want to understand that to derive your globe, you first need a flat earth.
And they say the opposite. They say we take our flat earth math from a globe. And then we say, no, you take your globe math from us. And it's, yeah.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
It's the same as when we say, okay, let's take Aristophanes. The globers say, well, the reason they are able to calculate this is because they have a radius, they have a curved adjacent, they have a tangent. Where we say, well, you don't have a tangent because you're taking a elevation angle, which requires a horizontal base.
Yeah.
And also that's making you're doing trigonometry, and because we know the sun's rays are divergent, it would give what we see with observed reality. So the sun's just more local with divergent rays. They, on the other hand, say, no, the sun's so far away that it's not actually diverging rays, it's coming in practically parallel. And because you're taking it off of a tangent, therefore it's a globe. So you see, so depends on how your belief system is, it can work both ways.
Right.
And this is the fine nuance that have the globe is clutched, because they are able to believe that somehow everything is just based on, how can I put it, a globe just being reality. It's faith-based because they mathematically are able to deduce things which already have the assumption of their radius. They say, well, you see, this math works out, so therefore it's a globe. No, you've already predetermined your outcome by having the radius value there. You've already assumed your outcome. You're just affirming the consequence based on math. I mean, you can make math for unicorn farts. Now, does that make unicorns and unicorn farts real? No.
Of course
you
not.
just made math for it. So it's
I mean, I think it's the same with the relativity in a lot of ways.
It's exactly
a whole lot of math, but not a lot of reality based on it.
But the funny thing is, when you take general relativity, it's kind of hinged off like when I talk about relative density disequilibrium.
Right.
Because in a physical sense, I can pick this mug up and I can say, okay, there is air around it, and it can't occupy the same space. So this cup, in essence, in reality, is warping the air around it, the medium.
Yeah.
So it's able to fall through it because it's denser and it's moved the space around it. So it's curved space-time. We just are able to show it in practical reality, understanding it's just the density ratio between the medium and the an object, where they take it into a total different dimension, which we are not able to go to because we are three-dimensional beings, and mathematically deduced it in 4 dimensions. And by the way, general relativity requires space to be flat, just to let everyone know.
How does that work? Like, I don't want to go too in depth with that, but like, because space doesn't necessarily have like a surface, so how would it be flat?
Yeah, space is just a dimension. It's just a extra dimension of intermovability, you can say. So that's just an extra line, you can say, which is able to move into. So what they believe is when you've taken into the 4th dimension, you got length, width, breadth, and time and space. So they're linking time and space together, and they may saying, well, you see, when you take this curved path, it's actually appearing to be straight. So when something falls, it's actually in space-time curving, but the geodesic shows a straight line. So it's an illusion. It's not an actual, it's not an actual object moving. It only appears to move because the space around it is warped by space-time. In other words, my hand is coming up to meet the cup, not the cup is coming down to meet my hand.
Okay.
That's why they can rectify saying the Earth is expanding in all directions based on general relativity, not physically, just mathematically. It's quite insane.
Yeah, it sounds something like you might hear at the Ethereum conference or something. It's that out of this world, you know?
Exactly. It's exactly that.
That the Earth is flat, and all of these astrophysicists, some of whom are Christians, because Mark Sargent.
Advert, sorry. Ooh, ever cool.
Man, it's crazy how she just keeps adding more. She's like, well, some of them are Christians, so you should believe them. Like, man.
It's quite sad because, yeah, from the beginning, they've just been pushing false narratives on people.
Claims to be a Christian. He actually claims to have come back to, well, what he calls spirituality, which is aligned with Christianity, when he started believing in the flat earth. Dean Odell has a whole chapter in his book dedicated to atheists and agnostics who became Christians after they started believing in the flat earth.
Which is a good positive thing. Why are you so negative about it?
Yeah,
As a
very
Christian,
true.
as a Christian, you're not supposed to be negative about something that's brought people to the gospel. There's many testimonies out there that says, yeah, became a flat earther, then a Christian because of the flat earth.
I mean, I'll
So-
even say this, dude. If there's people that are saved in like a false church or whatever, right, and they truly like come to Christ, like God bless, amen. Like it works despite of the pastor, but I'm not gonna be upset that this false teacher converted some actual genuine Christians. Like I'm so happy for them. I'm glad, even though like he's obviously not the right way to go, that you were mindful enough to still find Christ even in that, right? But it seems like she's kind of has a negative annotation towards it, like, why would these flat earthers bring people to Christ? Like, this is like, I don't know. Like, I think we should rejoice in things like that.
Yeah, that's my whole point. It's like they thinking, well, just because flat earth brought them to Christ, that should be seen as a negative thing.
Yeah.
Why? You see what I'm saying? It's like it's showing their mindset to this, because they don't believe your globe nonsense cult, and the flat earth has brought people to Christianity. That's a negative thing. That's not a negative thing. You're supposed to be glad that people came to Christianity. Okay, no matter if it's through someone else's belief that's not the same as you. That's why I say this globe is a cult. It's a very successful cult. It's the largest successful cult around. It's almost like, if you think about the globe in a cultish way, you can almost think of, let's say, you go to a sort of a cult community, and it's a town, for instance, and you're born into this town. You automatically, under that cult's, how can I say, guidance. Okay, so you're automatically indoctrinated into their belief system. That might not be reality, but that's what you're into. You believe it, and that's exactly what the cult is. It's just a worldwide cult that people have been indoctrinated into, and everybody that leaves this cult is shamed and is just literally being attacked for not wanting to believe the indoctrination. And that's what they project onto us when they say, "Oh, look how mean the flat earthers are being to these ex-flat earthers." No, it's very simple. Once you go flat, you never go back. That's it.
Yeah, and if you do go back, then there's some questioning to be had.
Exactly. Let's put it this way. This is the same question I had for Ranty when he supposedly went back to the globe. He was always pushing perspective, and it's always optical, okay? When he went back to the so-called globe, and I asked him, okay, but now you literally been showing all this time it's optical. Now he says, no, that's just perspective. It's nonsense. Acting like he never spoke of it before. It's like, no, it's physical. It's not optical. It's like, dude, you literally for 5 years, you were preaching how it's optical. Now you're telling me it's physical. Do you know how insane that sounds?
And they all tend to do this. I don't think any of them have like I don't know. It just seems like they all have like a really weird excuse for why they were wrong in the past.
Yeah, but I mean, even Jared now, the same things he was arguing against, he's now
arguing for.
And
Yeah.
he calls anybody out that argues against it. That's called being a hypocrite. I mean, I can guarantee you guys, if I had to end up saying, okay, maybe I was wrong, it's a globe, I wouldn't be on the internet anymore. I would have said, sorry guys, apologize, blah, 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 and then left. Not become a glober. Don't become a glober and start ridiculing flat earthers. I think the whole mindset of this is literally it's insane. It's all I can think of is insanity. It's wrong.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it seems intentional with a lot of people, you know, like maybe because I'm sure there are some people that genuinely like they just didn't get the right flat earth resources and they ended up going back to the globe. But then there's others that are like, they know it's flat and they're just straight up lying to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you've been in the flat earth community for, let's say, 5 years, and you've been a prominent flat earther a long time, let's for instance take Paul on the plane. He's made observations that were like crazy good. Now it's just literally, oh no, what does that have to do with anything? It's not not flat. It's just a globe. Why? Oh, because the sun in Antarctica. You know, while he's ignoring physics, while he's ignoring that you require containment for gas pressure, while he's ignoring gravity's never been shown scientifically, while he's ignoring the physics of water lying level at rest, you know, things like that. While he's ignoring all the thousands of observations he's shown that show it's impossible on a globe.
Well,
Just
I think it's a I wouldn't say catch-22, but it's being kind of dishonest, because when it comes to flat Earth, if you find one thing that you don't like about flat Earth, now the whole thing is invalid. But we can give you 100 points on why flat Earth is correct, but now the globe is still valid to you. So like one bad point on flat Earth, you're gone, and then 100 bad points on the globe, and you're still a glober. You know what I mean? Like that's
what I'm trying to point out. It's hypocritical.
Yeah,
it's double standard. So if I have 100 evidences that show against one belief, I'm wrong. But if you have one belief standard that shows against my belief, I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's very hypocritical.
How is that taking anything as fair or with an unbiased statue? Okay, let's go.
So that's another topic we can spear off on. But the idea of keeping a secret between three people is nearly impossible.
Yeah.
Right? Like I remember.
No. It depends what kind of secret you're keeping. Like
what if blackmail and death and like the thought of possibly losing your job, et cetera, was involved in that? I think that secret would be kept very well.
Yeah, let's take Buzz Aldrin, for instance. He's been behind the scenes kind of, blurting it out, becoming a drunkard and blurting it out. What's their excuse? Oh, no, he's old and senile.
Yeah.
He's a drunkard. So he's just old and senile, he's a drunkard. That's it. When literally he's been saying it out clearly, they never went. You know what I mean? So now no one believes him because he's a drunk, old, senile man. Like we said, when it comes to compartmentalization, people don't need to know that what they're doing is not the truth. Let's, for instance, take in the 1960s when they started doing the Apollo missions. They commissioned this was very smart of them. They commissioned actual businesses to do certain things, like this business would build the chairs. This business would supply the bolts. This business will supply the paint. This business will do the circuitry. Those people think they're literally doing something that's going to space. Okay, so they're not going to think it's a lie. They've been duped into think it's real. Why would they get commissioned and get paid for something that's fake? Not understanding the bottom line behind everything. So no, it's quite easy to keep a lie between a lot of people if they don't know they're lying.
Yeah, that's a great distinction, because it's no longer a secret. It's mainly just a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Quite crazy.
This is just a girl thing. But I remember being in high school, and if you had a crush on a guy, you couldn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Because if you told even the closest person you thought was your friend, eventually it would come out. Yes. And the whole class would know.
That's just called gossip. As a Christian, you're supposed to know you're not supposed to gossip. So That's totally different.
Well, the interesting thing is we've had these gossipers come from NASA, and like the one guy you said that worked on the satellites in Antarctica and he became a flat earther. We've had these people come out and gossip, so to speak, using her own terminology here. It's not like they don't exist. I mean, we have whistleblowers. They're just not, they're few and far between.
But also whistleblowers are usually shunned as well.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Buzz Aldrin, they don't, he landed on the moon and they don't even credit him anymore. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, supposedly landed on the moon. I want to correct that.
And Charles is very true. The military, certain government agencies, and NASA, they have to sign NDAs.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they have to sign these things. And that also keeps people quiet. So yeah, it's quite naive of her to try and say, well, how are they keeping this lie quiet? Very easy. There's so much ways to manipulate a person to keep a lie to their grave. Very easy.
And we've seen it. Look at Warner von Braun's tombstone. He's got the quote from Solomon's about the firmament right on it. And I feel like that was like his sneak diss way to say, like, it's flat, I'm dead now, the truth's out. Like, there is a firmament.
But the thing that was still very mind-boggling to me, America and Germany are in war. You take a known war criminal that's literally bombed and killed your people, your family, your friends, and say, hey, buddy, come work with us to try go to the moon.
Well, the funny part is the Russians did the same thing. I think it's called Operation Obkanaski. I don't speak Russian, but yeah, it's weird that the Russians and the Americans both took all these war criminal Nazi scientists and just pardoned them and put them right in the government.
They became good friends and they became our heroes.
Yeah, it's just weird. We have Russian Nazis and American Nazis racing to space. So, like, but they're basically the same. I mean, you got Russian scientists who are basically Nazis and the Americans Nazis. So, are they even fighting each other? Like,
yeah, but that's the thing. Look at, for instance, when it comes to the space agencies, okay, and the treaty in Antarctica, they're literally at war with each other. Yet they're working together in Antarctica and working together in space. How is that? Don't people see that contradiction? I mean, how can you be at war with the country, but you literally have an alliance with them when you go to space? It doesn't make sense.
I just think the environmental thing is like the least cop out they could ever come up with. Like, do we really think all these countries really care about the environment so much we're going to cut off an entire continent?
Russia is known for exploring Antarctica quite a lot, and the technologies they've left there, yes, left in Antarctica. I still want to make a whole documentary on this. So yeah, when they come and say, "Oh, you guys can't even take a piss in the snow," you know, you're gonna harm the environment. Well, what about Russia leaving damn tanks in the snow? Come on. So yeah, it's this whole, it's a scientific environment to keep safe and you know, so we can all just study the ice. It's total nonsense. It's just a cop out. It's a ploy to try and make unity for the better of humanity. You really think that the governments care about humanity and the better for humanity? Come on. They literally get rich on poverty. They literally get rich on wars. They get rich on death. Why will they care about some damn organism in an ice continent?
I mean, they even get rich on the climate and control of that as well, which is their whole reason for like protecting Antarctica. But even that is like a cash grab for them.
Yep, exactly.
Trying to keep a secret at this scale for decades, literally decades. I mean, it depends on how far you want to go back. We could talk about thousands of years, but let's just talk about modern history, the 1950s and beyond. We're keeping this secret for that long. Nobody's a whistleblower.
There were whistleblowers. If you haven't realized that. What happens to whistleblowers, though? And what happened to the people signing NDAs? What happened to people being compartmentalized that don't know they were lying? She's very naive when it comes to this, I have to say. In other words, she's kind of like trusting the guy, you know, with a van coming there with a lollipop and saying, "Hey, come here, little child. Do you want a sweetie? He's a good guy. Why? Because he gives me a sweetie."
I mean, it
He
seems
won't
like
like
she's
me.
just weighing probabilities, which isn't really like the best way to go about it. She's like, well, it's very unlikely based on me in high school that people can keep a secret. So based on the unlikeliness, it must not be true. Like, I don't. That doesn't seem right to me.
Quite sad. Yeah, but like I said, her whole bias is showing out on this the whole time. That's all it is.
I have seen buttonhole cameras taken into the secret inner workings of the Latter-day Saints at temples.
Yeah.
Right? You're telling me that there's nobody at NASA who's going to record these secret meetings that they're hiding things like this.
And who are part of these secret meetings, darling? If you're literally just a pencil pusher at NASA, you have no clue what's happening at the higher up. When you finally get to the higher up, you've already deep in some shit. Come on, get real. It's
Yeah, and
the
at
same
that
as-
point, you're probably deeper than NASA. You're probably involved in some society or whatever it be, right? And at that point, like,
yeah, but I mean, there's actually another documentary I wanted to work on. In Hollywood, they got like a secret society kind of way where they get people to go to a party and then they get them through certain levels in that party. So it's like usually known for like the rich and wealthy who become very popular through after going to these parties. And they sort of take them through like the 7 temptations of sin. And every time it gets more and more progressive bad in the rooms.
Yeah.
So as soon as, you know, they like just start with little, everybody's happy, all gossipy and blah, 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 you know, and it just gets to it. And eventually it gets to really sick stuff and it all gets recorded. So they have a way to blackmail them.
yeah.
They are so knee deep in, they forced to keep the secret. They forced to stay in with that new club they joined. It's as simple as that. These guys this woman tries to make it sound as just so easy. It's just so cut and dry. You know, you're just going to go in there with a button. Oh, come on, button camera. Really? Has she ever tried to go through security in NASA before? Really naive.
Where are those people? Where are the whistleblowers that will tell us that the Earth is flat and that the whole space program is...
Look at this. This is what I'm saying. Look how pissed off these people get. Why must I shut up, candidate? Am I not allowed to have free speech? Huh? Does it hurt your feelings that I talk against this nonsense?
is filmed on a green screen. They don't exist. And one of Jeff's challenges to Mark was that he personally knows people who work for NASA, other astrophysicists, and they are Christians. And he goes, so you are telling me that these people who are Christians are going against their moral values to hide this secret, and for why? And
Just because you're a Christian doesn't mean you won't lie. If the incentive is great enough, if you are in too deep, there could be many reasons why they could lie, Christian or not. I mean, it's the same as being naive enough to think pastors don't commit adultery. Heck, I can show you many pastors today that do commit adultery. Just because they're a pastor doesn't mean they won't commit adultery. It's the same as you saying, well, just because they're a Christian, they won't lie to you. It's nonsense. This is literally just naivety talking here. It's like,
well, I think that's really bad, because if you take that aspect, then you could just take any false teacher and be like, well, he's a Christian, he won't lie, and then now you're doing New Ageism and all this nonsense, like that's a little naive to think that nobody can lie just because they're moral values.
That's exactly my point. It's very naive. So she's taking a very naive approach of this and just saying, well, because lying is so difficult to keep in a school environment, so how can you expect people to lie in the real life and such? There's a lot of nuances to this, a lot of levels of deception and ways to manipulate people to lie. This is reality. This isn't a game. So it's quite sad that she doesn't look further into kind of things like this. She's literally fallen for the trap of just accept what you've been told. Hey, Sirius, what's up, man? Look at this. See, this is exactly what I'm saying, guys. When did the channel name change? I thought Flatoid disappeared all this time.
Oh. And I would imagine he probably was subscribed too. You know my name, so.
A lot of people think it's just gone because they get unsubscribed or whatever. But no, I'm still here, serious. Good to see you, man. I did do channel brand change a bit because God's making me go in another direction. So it's good to see you back, man.
It always comes back to the why. It makes it, I would say, believing in something like the flat earth makes your world a lot smaller. And Dean Odell.
Wait. Does making the flat earth make your world a lot smaller?
Maybe she's saying figuratively? I don't understand that, to be honest.
You see, there could be different implications. Is it socially or is it or physically? Like I said, if you look at the two different beliefs, okay, the Bible specifically talks about God creating an earth to be close to us, to have a personal relationship with. The flat earth describes God being close to us, literally sitting on the vault of heaven by us, using the earth as his footstool, okay, where he can see us as grasshoppers. That's Isaiah 40:22. Now, the globe specifically teaches that we're in an ever-expanding universe. God is moving with that ever-expanding universe, and he's moving further away from us, and we are just this infinite little speck of dust. They're in that little tiny little speck of dust without a purpose. We're just here by chance.
I've always had an issue with sorry, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've always had an issue with the whole expanding universe, because as far as I'm concerned, God finished creation.
That's also a very good point. God didn't say he's still working. He said, and it was finished. Hence, God rested on the seventh day. So, it goes against what the Bible's teaching. And this is exactly what we're saying. When you look at it from a Christian globe perspective, it doesn't gel. And I'm ashamed to say I've been a Christian most of my life as a glober, because I read the Bible and I definitely did not understand what I was reading in Genesis or Isaiah or in Joshua. I didn't understand, but I was so indoctrinated to believe the nonsense by the pagan belief system. Yes, the heliocentric model is a pagan belief system. It's Babylonian. That I just accepted it and glossed over what it said. When Joshua told the sun and moon to stop in Joshua 10, when I read that as a glober, it didn't at all register in my brain like, hello, he just told God to stop the sun and moon from moving, not the earth.
And the worst part about it is a lot of these people that maintain the globe belief essentially just say, like, they're wrong. They didn't understand it. God had to dumb it down for them because the earth is just so complicated. He had to describe it in a way that they would understand. And that's just not described in the text. You have to read that in. It doesn't say anywhere, oh, Isaiah wasn't smart enough, so God had to use different terminology for him to get it. Like, that's not in the context. But that's what they read into it.
But that's also calling God a liar, because he's telling Moses something he didn't do. And that goes against God's character. That's why I say, unfortunately, at the end of the day, if you are a globe Christian and you get presented with this information, if you make the choice to say, well, it's still a globe, you are by necessity calling God a liar, unfortunately. Even though that's not your intention, you are. So it's quite sad.
Debate with Greg Locke. Greg Locke actually said the flat earth limits God, because as far as the east is from the west, and up through, and the firmament would limit God's mercies when they're supposed to go on forever. And I thought that was interesting that Locke went down that path. He made some interesting counter arguments to Dean Odel's presentation. He did not say him well, even though multiple times
she basically just said God's mercy expands forever, so therefore the firmament also has to expand forever. Where is that? Where's the correlation? That is just nonsense. That is so nonsense. I've never heard anything quite like that before.
That's very bad doctrine.
Yeah.
But did you hear what she was saying there? Greg Locke, he was really mean to Dean Odell, but his arguments were very good. No. The fact he's literally claiming that flat earth is limiting God shows that they don't read scripture themselves. Okay? Isaiah 40:22. And God sits above the circle of earth and uses the earth as a footstool so he may see us as grasshoppers. Okay, obviously I put that in my own words because I'm not reading it in front of me, but that's what the verse essentially says. So in other words, what it means is God is close and personal to us, sitting on the vault of heaven, the firmament, and he literally has his eyesight on us on earth, looking at us as if we were locusts. It's just imagining it in a pictorial way to understand it, to visualize it. So in other words, God's visibly able to see us locally because he's a personal God, not an ever expanding away God as you guys want it to be. When you look at this whole vision of, because I used to love Louis Giglio, where he explains all these planets and infinite universe, it's always expanding, and you're looking at, look how big Poltergeist is, and just look at this kind of star, which is 10 trillion times the size of Earth. And you're looking at this, you're like, wow, God's so great. He's creating all these non-habitable, fantasy-based nonsense stars and planets and stuff that is just made up in an ever-expanding universe, which goes against God's actual purpose for us and actual character. All they're pushing is, look how great God is, because look at this universe that's ever expanding. Look how great and big everything else is. Well, if God created us for a purpose, why are we the smallest speck in that universe? Why is God moving away from us at a constant speed? Why is it that God is not answering our prayers? Why is it that God is such a deniable, how can I put it, a dictator who just loves to hate? This is the kind of nonsense that's being pushed by the globe.
And it also kind of glorifies creation.
It does.
A little bit. Because they're like, oh, look at how good the universe is instead of how good God is. You know what I mean?
That's exactly that. It's worshiping creation over God. God's character is to be intimate with you, to be close. The creation they're pushing is showing God moving away from us. Further away. Hence why they still push billions and millions of years, which is also against the Bible, and pushing evolution, which is also against the Bible. Why do you get Christians today that believe evolution is okay?
And there are a lot of them, unfortunately. I've spoken to quite a few. So, yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah, I mean, let's for instance look at Mike Jones, inspirational philosophy. I love his Christian content, but he is an evolutionist. For what reason, I have no idea. What's up, Soph?
What's happening? I thought that was a Unabomber down there for a minute, but it's Keith. I was like, what?
Yeah, my eye looks a lot better though. It's getting
What's
there.
wrong with it?
Oh yeah, it's getting there.
Oh, wow.
Got infection. I was doing exercises in the beginning of the week, and I seemed to have burst a vein
Oh,
on my eyelid, and then it got infected.
nice.
That's what happens when you exercise too hard, people.
You know, kind of on this topic of God, limiting God, I would say God kind of has limits. Like there's certain things that are characteristic to God and certain things that are not. And not that he's not able to do all things, but God is a righteous God. He's not going to go do evil. He's not going to, forsake his people, et cetera, et cetera.
I think we all limit God. God is able to do what he wants, but God has chosen to do what he does.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put it out there. Greg Locke is a demon infested parasite, and you're best to stay away from him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen a
Greg
couple
Locke.
of rebuttals on him. Is there anything in specific? Because it's been a long time since I've seen him covered, but maybe just touch on it a little bit.
Well, he did have an interview after that whole thing and justifying his actions.
Somebody shot up his house.
Oh wow.
But that's the saying. He's justifying his actions by saying, "You see, people hate me because I'm telling the truth."
No, they
But,
hate you because you're an asshole.
So it's quite sad. But anyway, Sov, what's up, man? How's it going?
Oh, man. Been
What's your
trying to
thoughts? What's your thoughts on this whole etheric conference by Whitsitt and Jaron?
I think they're just seeking attention. And people, if they're dumb enough to give it to them, well, go ahead.
Well, let me put it this way: would you pay $69 for an online show?
No.
That's what the bottom of the line tickets sell. Then you can get a VIP for $97.
Why would I don't even watch those idiots for free? Why would I pay money? Good Lord.
And all they're teaching is vibrational healing, or are we made out of chemicals? And then
The
you go,
6 pillars. Like, what in the world?
Listen, man. Just a new grift and the same suckers. That's all.
yeah, DG, the problem I got with Mike Jones is he is actually Catholic. So there's a lot of doctrine I don't agree with him. But there is some content that I do like what Mike Jones does present. And what I do like about the way he presents his arguments. So with that aspect, yes, I like Mike Jones.
I just said I don't want you up here.
It's like, who are you to tell me what to do?
I know, right? You're the bad old guy, Jeez. Come here.
So yeah. So Jaron and Whitsitt is going to have that cosmology debate on there.
I hope
And
it goes
everybody's
well.
paying for it. I want to let's have a chat. Let's have a poll. Do you think that debate is going to be released by Whitsitt and Jaron later on, anyway, for free?
I won't watch it
Type
then
1 in
either.
chat yes, or type 2 if you think no.
I won't watch it then either.
I'm gonna
But
say
my point is, people are paying so much to watch it now on the internet, and give it a few weeks, it's probably going to be on the internet anyway for free.
Somebody will clip it and put it up.
yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Somebody just takes the L, spends the $90, and just gets the content for all of us.
I don't need it. I don't want it. I won't watch it if it is free. I have no interest in anything either one of those two idiots have to say. Nothing.
Yeah, but don't you find it odd they hate each other, but they're still business partners? And now
It's like everybody in Antarctica.
Yeah.
We hate each other, but we're friends in space and everywhere else. I guess that's how it works with these guys too.
It's true
But
WWF showmanship. That's all.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I'm saying. So Jaron's whole persona was, let's turn on flat Earth, and everybody's gonna hate me. Whitsett's whole thing is, I'm still going to be a flat earther, but let's make flat Earth look like a bunch of grifters and snake oil salesmen.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Anyway, back to these two ladies that literally just have no idea what they're talking about.
She said, Greg Locke said, I'm not going to be a jerk for Jesus. And it turns out he was at some points, which I found really not great because Odell was respectful and kind throughout his entire presentation, and tried to have a good conversation that really went nowhere because Locke seemed unwilling.
If you don't mind pausing, just super
but all
quickly.
That to say,
do we know about Odell? Is he like a good flat earther? Or is he kind of like maybe controlled opposition?
Everybody's in between. Some people see him as a shill.
Okay.
Other people do like him. Me, I haven't seen any issue with him other than the whole TFE thing, which he pushed the sun, before that. Right. I've listened to some of his sermons, which I got no issue with. Obviously, they aren't everything I agree with him, but right. I'm not gonna just go out and call him a shill because I have some disagreements.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I just wanted a little context on him. I've never heard of him before, so
I think a lot of the times in this community, especially today, people call people shills too easy.
Yeah.
I think it's very obvious with some shills you could see, like for instance, Jaron and them. You could see them from a mile away.
Yeah.
Okay. But a lot of people are just labeled as shills just because they disagree with them.
Yeah, I think speculative flat earthers are often labeled as that. Because they're kind of speculative and they're like, all right, well, I think it might be this way. And then you get a YouTuber that comes in and he's like, he said 100% it has to be this way. He's a shill. And it's like, I mean, he's just speculating. You know what I mean? You don't have to go crazy and like defame the man because he wants to think a certain way.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I can't give you a why. I haven't been able to find the consensus as to why, other than they want to control us or Satan wants to control us. I don't understand. Remember that Antarctica?
You know how you will understand if you actually go talk to flat earthers. Usually that works.
Yeah, yep.
But instead, you guys go and talk to people like Duffy.
I think she might be being disingenuous here. Like, I'm just going to be honest because, like, there's more than just they want to control people. Like, that's such a big umbrella. I think she knows more than she's saying, and she just doesn't want to give us, like, more fuel for us. You know what I mean? Because she's obviously playing the earther side.
What they don't understand is that because they have limited binary thinking, okay? They don't realize that when these things are done, the reasons are multifaceted. The advantages to it are multifaceted. And this is why they've got you programmed into a binary way of thinking. The bottom line is this. Why would they lie? Who cares? Okay? Mm-hmm. If we walked up, we're detectives. We get called to a scene. And there's a guy laying on the floor. He's been stabbed in the back. He's laying face down. He's lying face down with a knife stuck in his back, and he's been stabbed 27 times. We can conclude from that evidence right there that a murder has been committed. But no, our lieutenant, Mr. Lieutenant Binary, he comes in and he goes, what have you got there? Well, that's a murder, sir. A murder? Well, what would be the motive? Is now, because we don't have a motive, does that mean that no murder was committed?
That's exactly.
That's a great analogy.
Mm-hmm.
That was very nice.
They try to obfuscate with that. Why would they lie? I don't know. Go ask them. The fact is they did.
Yeah.
Well, it's also weird because she says multiple times in the video, like she makes it known that a lot of flat earthers are from the point that they're trying to hide God and like it's about creation. So for her to say, oh, the only reason is control, like you've already established that one of the reasons is to hide creation. So I don't know why you're not like. It just seems a little weird. I don't know. The way she's described it, she knows that's one of the reasons, but she didn't say that.
Yep. But like I said, she's playing very naive. I mean, Melissa's got caught out how about times now saying she hasn't looked into this, but she literally named Patricia Steer. She named Will Duffy by his first name. How do you do that if you haven't looked into anything in Flat Earth?
Yep. Yep. I noticed you didn't mention Bledsoe. You didn't mention Sovereign Soul. You didn't mention any of those others,
Well,
did you?
haven't realized that, Sov. They don't want to mention us
Mm-mm.
to anybody out there. Because if as soon as they do, they're going to be going in deeper and saying, hang on, there's maybe more to the story than actually meets the eye.
Yep. They don't come to have a conversation. They come to stop the conversation.
Mm-hmm. It's all just a biased narrative. That's it. They got an agenda and they keep into it.
Mm-hmm.
Thing that I talked about, Dean Odell had a response to that. He said that Satan, I want to make sure I get this right.
Yeah.
He said that Satan created the fireball that they saw for 24 hours in order to deceive them.
False. What a lie. What he did actually say was, do you think it's not capable for Satan to deceive people to think the sun was in the sky for 24 hours? That is his argument. Not saying Satan created a fireball in the sky.
The mask just fell off, broad. That's what happened right there with that
And she
statement.
literally, you literally heard her say, well, let me try and get this right. Let me try and say it right. And then literally lies.
Yeah.
Got it completely wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it completely wrong. Somebody needs to tell her.
I mean, we can go to Dean Odell's channel now, and I can bring up the service he was talking about, and I can show you exactly what he says. Total nonsense, woman. And the sad thing is, all her hundreds of thousands of followers now, Melissa, is hearing false narrative about Dean Odell. Now they're making him look like this complete kook, like he's insane. And you know where she got that narrative? Jaron Campanella. Jaron was the one that pushed that false narrative on his video of Satan is the sun, dancing around the sky.
Mm-hmm.
So she is really being deceptive.
So that was the answer that he gave, rather than saying, okay, yep, I accept that. It must have been Satan deceiving them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this answers the other question I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Okay, for a Christian that believes the earth is flat and that Satan can put fireballs in the sky, that's probably how they explain away people going to space, Katy Perry going up with her flat. You know what I mean? Yeah. How did the secularists explain?
Oh, wait. The fact she just brought up Katy Perry now, Blue Origins, she knows flat earthers were looking into that and ridiculing it.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, caught out in her own lies. Wow.
I mean, this is just making us look bad, because the way she described it is, well, if he thinks that Satan put a fireball in the sky, then flat earthers must think that Satan is sending people to space, and or something like, I don't know the annotation exactly she's trying to say here, but it's not a good one.
Mm-mm.
I think I'm going to go to Dean Odell's video on this.
Like, to go from that statement into that is just, those two don't coincide. Like, I'll be honest. Oh, that makes sense. So they must think the same thing about space. Like, what? How does that? That's just ridiculous.
Well, it takes an assumptive mind to begin with, because it's fraught with assumptions.
Well, yeah, they didn't actually go out to talk to any flat earthers, so they're just assuming things about us this whole time.
Yeah, in fact, if they come up with the Katy Perry and they're saying that's fake, everybody's saying it's fake. You just let your mask fall off, man. Come on. Katy Perry went to space for 5 minutes and she's an astronaut. I guess that makes me a gynecologist. Really.
Yeah, that was a publicity stunt and a half, man. Okay, so this is Dean Odell actually preaching about this. I think it's from about,
I don't care if you see 15 suns in the sky and they do whirlabouts. God's word is true.
There we go. That's
From
his argument.
Genesis to Revelation. Amen?
Amen. Yeah.
And we were warned that there were going to be false signs, satanic signs and wonders. Guess what? In the heavens. So here's what I
Tell me
say.
when he
I'm
says
not
there's
going
a
to even
fireball in
debate
the Satan put a
the
fireball.
shadows going in different directions, like McToon wants to debate all this stuff. I mean, he believes in evolution, so he's a monkey man. All right? I'm not even going to debate camera angles and no footprints in the snow where they were walking and all these weird anomalies. I'm not even going to say, I'm just going to say they went and they saw a light go around them in a circle that they thought was the sun, or that they knew because they're Satanists, some of them, that Satan would be there to help them. Because listen, folks, Satan has a lot invested in this deception. He has spent hundreds of years crafting this deception about changing the nature of creation so that people won't believe the Bible. He built NASA to help you out with this one.
I want to
Think about
correct
that.
Dean.
And made
I want to correct him for a minute. They went down and saw. No, they went and claimed they saw. What they brought back was very, very sketchy, and they lied. Okay, so
Yeah, but
they claimed that they saw.
But that's the thing. Yeah. He's saying Satan has a lot invested in it. So, in other words, deception. Yeah, that group that went over there just brought deception with them. I still, to this day, believe everything they showed was faked. It literally, if you look at any footage, everything, there's too much inconsistencies to show that it was true. So, yes, Satan could have helped. Hence, hello, they fabricated the 24-hour sun and just claimed it to be true. You're literally just believing people by saying, hey, we saw the sun, with no evidence. That's it. Can anybody 100% guarantee they saw what they claimed? No. There's no 24-hour live footage that was supposed to be shown. Heck, the only footage they showed was idiotic short streams that didn't even fit the weather reports. That's it.
No, we watched live weather cams while they were talking and shit, and it wasn't anything like that. It's because their live was not live.
It's
Okay?
easy to pre-record something and make that pre-record live. Very easy. I could pre-record this now.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Oh,
I can
look.
pre-record
Oh.
this now and play this live tomorrow. You guys will think this is live. It's as simple as that. I mean, how many super chats did you and Roger send? Did they read them out?
They didn't read shit
No.
of them. Nope, because they
No.
didn't. They weren't live.
But they were claiming they were reading people's super chats out. Whose super chats were they actually reading out? Oh, the people defending TFE. Uh-oh. Not the people talking against TFE. Maybe
These
take that
people
into
that believe-
consideration.
The people that believe that, I would like them all to know right now that I have a bridge that I'm willing to sell them. It spans over the Shenandoah River, and it can be yours for the low, low price of $199.95. 4 lanes too, man. That's a hell of a deal. So just let me know, and I'll give you the contact information where you can cash app me the money, and I'll give you the deed
Well,
to the White House.
And what nice is, Solve is so nice, he's going to give you guys a special price that I get 10% of the income tax.
There you go.
Yeah.
So come on down and get yourself a bridge.
And wait, we'll even throw in a free globe mouse pad.
Yeah, but only if you act today while supplies are limited. See,
The next 5 customers get a free etherical conference ticket.
Yeah, and the first 100 get a blessing live from us. There we go. Yeah.
Jesus.
We'll give you guys anointing oil and some bath water.
Here's some frankincense bubble bath. Huh?
How does somebody who's secular explain? Is it so like would they say CGI?
CGI.
All these
Oh,
celebrities
now
going up
you
in
said
space.
CGI. Oh, okay. So you were in this whole argument. Well done. Okay.
Are they going to keep it a conspiracy secret too? Like, are they a part of it?
Yeah, I think especially with the Katy Perry one that just happened, there has been a lot of conversation about it being fake. There was a video that I saw, and I don't know how doctored it is, where the door opened from the inside and Jeff Bezos.
That wasn't doctored. That was
That
literal
was
live.
live. That was live,
Yeah.
you fool. Go eat.
But she can't fathom it being real though, because it goes against her worldview. So she's like, "Well, let me defend Katy Perry. It could be fake. I don't know." Like,
It was live. Did they fake Bezos tripping and doing a face plant when he was walking
But didn't
around?
Bezos even say he had to do it this way, close it because of publicity?
Yep.
Really?
I love it.
Assistant was like, no, you can't open that yet, of the capsule that had landed. And then Jeff Bezos goes and has this like dramatic moment where he opens this airlocked seal, but it had already been opened from the inside. The other argument is there's no evidence that it left the atmosphere because it's still perfectly painted and whatnot.
Yeah, think about it. If you stick a marshmallow in a fire, what happens to it?
It melts.
It gets burnt. That's weird.
you know, this is kind of interesting. When you look up this whole Katy Perry thing, it says she claims her trust was betrayed, her fame exploited, and her image used to legitimize a lie. Legitimize a lie. So we have Katy Perry literally saying the first result on Google that she legitimized a lie. I mean, I don't know why they're using this as some type of proof for them. This is just our proof at this point.
Yeah, it's actually sad that they're bringing this up and trying to somehow use it for their gain, but it's actually making them sound very naive to what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they didn't hear about the lawsuit. I'm assuming if they knew that the whole thing about Katy Perry and like all that happened, they might not have mentioned it. So I'm assuming they just didn't realize. Like, yeah, I mean, everybody knows it's a fake mission at this point. Like, it's not even like up for debate. It's just a known fact. They faked it. But the way they're describing it, they don't seem to know that it's fake. They think like, oh well, it's probably real. Like, I don't know. They must not have done enough research into that specifically because.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Roger's in here. What's up, man?
Hey, Wes, how's it going?
Good yourself.
Are you still on the girls? I see them. Aren't they beautiful?
What do you mean on the girls? Come on.
No, not like that.
Why would they lie? Why? They've never lied to me before. Everything they've told me has been true.
I can't keep a lie, so they can't either because I can't keep one. Like what?
I mean, remember when you were in school and you really had a crush on this guy, and if you told your friends, they couldn't keep a secret and it would get out to everybody? So how can you expect someone that literally threatens you with death warrants to keep a lie?
All right.
Really naive.
But they don't go very high. I mean, Katy Perry's not really an astronaut. We all know that, right? Like, she's just a space traveler. She's a visitor and she's a tourist.
An astronaut is a space traveler. You just contradicted yourself. She just contradicted herself. That's literally what an astronaut is claimed to be, a space traveler.
Oh my word.
So you're saying she's not an astronaut, but she's a space traveler. That's an oxymoron. That's a contradiction. No, she's not a space traveler or an astronaut. She's a musician and an actress.
Yep. Just
That's
like
it.
Well, what's the word astronaut mean? Astro travelers.
Yeah.
I think it's Russian. Yeah.
Yes, to travel in space.
I mean, even on Google, it says a space traveler is generally considered an astronaut. So I don't know, like, what she's on about here. She's just a space traveler, guys. Leave her alone. Like, what?
Yeah.
No, wow. I mean, it was bad enough when people thought William Shatner went up in that thing.
No.
You know what I mean? I mean, that guy definitely is not healthy enough to go up in a rocket like that. Okay,
91
and now
years
you
old.
got and now you got these other women that when they went up there, they hardly looked outside. All they did was, yeah, let's pose together, or let's throw things together. Oh, let's just say how beautiful my experiment is working, because I'm not really doing an experiment, because I had seeds in my pocket and I wanted to see what the effects of space will do with my seeds for 4 minutes in free fall. It's so
Did they
idiotic.
sprout? Did the seeds sprout?
But I mean, that's the kind of level of science they did. I went to a university. They gave me seeds. We wanted to see what the effects of space would be on seeds. Literally, you just went up and did a free fall for 4 minutes long. What effect would happen on damn seeds?
Nothing I can think of. Don't.
It's insane.
Zero gravity. Yeah.
The kind of things these guys came up with is really, it's bare bones useless.
Tourist.
I gotta
A
stop
space
looking at the chat.
tourist.
But wouldn't that make it worse to let more people know, oh, by the way, the earth is flat, you got to keep this quiet? Like, isn't that worse? To I don't get it. I do not understand that. Like, that's more people that know the secret, but you can't tell anybody. I don't get it.
Make it worse. What's up, Block? How's it going?
What?
Block.
Block is in.
Block.
Oh, okay. Let's remove Block. It's just another troll. Sorry, guys.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
You know when you think you actually got actual people coming in?
No,
Yeah,
you
I've
couldn't.
seen that happen.
Chitlins, like,
Yeah.
Dude, you get the trolls like you wouldn't believe, man. I don't get very many of them. I don't know what it is, man. I don't get too many of them. Maybe nobody pays any attention to them a whole lot. I get a couple. But they don't
Maybe
last
I
long.
got some like troll magnet on me or something. I don't know.
No, you're just so popular, Flat. She's got to understand. You're the cool kid on the block, man.
No,
The
but I
glasses
mean,
say it all.
it's quite
There's
sad.
private chat. Here we go.
And by
What
the
does
way,
Block
this
type?
guy's coming in literally just calling everybody homos.
Oh, okay.
I see that.
So
You
loving.
should die. Yeah.
And telling us we should all die.
You should all die. Why?
Yeah, well, let's see. So you're finally going outside for Pride Month. Homoland, scam bags. You all should die. Love you too, Block. I think you need to go and get yourself some professional help, because the last time I checked, chlamydia is not a very healthy thing.
Yeah,
Neither
buddy.
is syphilis too. Yeah.
You need to. Here's what you need to do. Really, you need to go over and sit down for a little bit, take a couple of really deep breaths, think about your life earnestly, and then go fuck yourself. That's what you need to do.
Oh man, it's sad.
And I'm praying
What
for you,
causes
Block.
but think about it. What causes a person to go on someone's live stream and literally just say the disgusting things he just said?
I don't know.
And by the
I
way,
have no idea.
not even man enough to say it with his own voice.
I'm just curious how we're scam bags. Are you selling something? Last time I checked, we're not selling any tickets to the Ethereal Conference over here.
I thought we've been talking out against scams, Joe, have we not?
Yeah.
That's
I'm going to
weird.
do a live where y'all can pay me $100 each to watch, and I'm going to let you. It'll be 24 hours of camera on my dogs. Okay.
Hey, people would pay for that.
As long as y'all are wasting your money, throw some my way with that, and we'll let you watch the dogs.
But that's been done. It's called Dave McKeegan. He literally had a live stream of his dog for how many hours, and people gave money to watch his dog sleep on a couch.
Damn, I gotta get in on this. I'm sorry.
I'm telling you.
I didn't
And you
realize
got so
it
much
was that
dogs.
easy.
Think about it. Monday you can have the one dog. Tuesday you can have the next dog. Thursday you can have all the dogs together. You're going to be rich, man.
The sad part is this is still more entertaining than the Ethereal Conference would be. I'd much rather pay for that.
Then the bonus stream, only $1,000 per person, is going to be all 5 dogs at one time.
Wow.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And if you get the fringe people that really love dogs a lot, you'll let them see them drink out of a bowl.
Oh yeah, you got no problem with that.
But only if we meet the donation goal. We can't do it without meeting the goal first, you know?
Yeah.
That's right.
Dude, did anybody watch Witset's flat spack thing? I mean, seriously.
I saw parts of it.
Yeah,
I haven't watched
he
it,
literally went through Nation's housekeeping questions, and that was it. But for the most part, that's all he did.
Oh,
I can
The
watch
flat Earth's
Nation for
back!
free.
Like, what?
oh, thank God you're back, Austin. We didn't know what the fuck to do without you.
Dude, the flat Earth was gone without you, dude. We needed you.
That's the thing which was awesome. I was listening to some David Banner today. Shout out David Banner. He was talking about some of that, and it's like, yeah, brought up quite a good point. Whitsitt, remember, disowned flat Earth, and he became what he calls a true earther. Now all of a sudden, he's a flat earther again.
Yeah.
That's a bit odd.
Yeah.
I watched enough of it to see that he was actually live, and he said, and another thing, and that's all I watched. So I missed really a lot of it. Thank God. I figured out that it was his voice actually made my intestines cringe up.
You remember the last time he came on here, he sat there and called us all garbage people. So I mean, I don't know. What
And this is a flat earther. Why is he talking about against other flat earthers? You might as well go join Jeranism. He's basically doing his work. You know what I mean?
He already has joined Jerry.
Yeah.
Come on.
You get the best of both worlds with the, what is that thing they're doing? The summit, the True Earth Summit? Is that what it is? Or Flat Earth Summit? Which one is it?
No, the Etheric Summit.
Even worse, yeah.
I mean, we went through what they're showing. I think let's get it through again, just so people who just joined can see.
Yeah, because we have quite a few more people on the live now. There was like 20, 30 before. So
let's check the Etheric Summit, guys. This is what you get for when paying. It's the Etheric Summit from Whitsitt. These are the people you get to see, the speakers.
Oh wow.
David Avocado Wolf.
He looks like a real good man with the two avocados.
Dr. Andrew Kaufman, Dr. Tom Cohen, Dr. Amanda Volmer, Deepak, he's a musician. Whoever that is, I have no idea. Dr. Bazar Lando, Alex Zek, Topher Gardner, Foundering, Austin Whitsitt. That's not actually a real picture of him, but okay.
That's his blue steel picture.
Yeah. Ooh. Mark Gobber and Greg Reese. Let's just quickly.
I have no idea who they are.
Check that. $65, guys, just to register. Okay, that's the bottom. If you want VIP, it's $97. Let's just quickly see what that gets you, and then we'll see what the actual. I
think it's worth noting you can't cancel your tickets either. Once you get scammed, you're done. There's no going back.
Yeah. Okay, I don't see they got a home. So I can't go back to see what.
When's is it already underway?
It started. Yeah, it's on the way. They started. Right. Yeah.
Damn, and I missed it. Oh shit!
Watch this.
That Dr. Volmer there is going to teach you how to drink pee.
Yeah. Look.
Yeah.
This is the pre-show, the lobby, day one. Okay. Session ended was just a virtual pre-show lobby. Notice this is all online, guys. Virtual.
Yeah. Okay? For that money.
Conspiracy Music Guru opening entertainment was all just virtual. You could just go to his channel and watch his music, could you not?
Yeah.
Okay. Austin Whitsitt, also just virtual, just talking whatever he talks. Greg Reese, personal solutions in a tyrannical world. In other words, psychologist, how to cope if people don't agree with you. Okay, virtual. Here's your favorite, Solve. Amanda Volmer. Instantaneous across the field. Frequency healing, vibrational medicine, and the return of etheric medicine.
Listen, I've talked to her in person, and she's really a nice person. She's very knowledgeable and everything else like that. I just can't get down with that drink and pee shit, man.
I get it.
Well, I want to ask you, Solve.
I need something to wash this turd down with. Anybody got a glass of piss for me? Jesus.
I want to know, Solve. Is someone's going to vibrate your leg? Is it going to all of a sudden become healed?
No, it's well, you can heal with frequency. Absolutely, I believe that 100%. I've seen it in action. Um, Even the frequency of a cat's purr affects you in a good way. In a good way. It's the little things that people don't understand. Everybody thinks there's supposed to be an immediate reaction to something, and there usually isn't. It's a wait for it, there it is, like that. Um, this is frequency affects you on every level. This is why you can listen to a beautiful sonata with absolutely no words to it whatsoever, and it can evoke a tear. How is that possible? How is it possible that your emotional state can be even affected by a frequency? You start looking into that and you find out that you can heal with frequency. So she's on the ball with a lot of that stuff. She's got good information. But like I said, I just can't. And I don't care if your piss has got stem cells in it or not. It's still piss. I'm not drinking it.
Nope.
Well, just by the smell alone, I can't do it. I'm telling you.
Yeah. And Topher Gardner, sphering the hypercube of reality. What does that mean? I have no idea. Sorry, Tabby.
It starts in 40 minutes. Oh,
Yeah, that starts in 40 minutes. David Avocado Wolf, super herbs, medicinal mushrooms, charcoal, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, invincible immunity, immunity, fasting. Heck, he just didn't put the ABCs there. He could have put everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, wow, all this is just virtual. Then it comes the big event, guys. Jaron Campanella versus Austin Whitsett. Cosmology debate. Virtual again. Then, if you paid for the VIP debate after show.
Ooh.
Virtual. Then you get day 2, guys. Pre-show lobby again, which is virtual. Opening entertainment, which is just music again. Virtual. Dr. Tom Cohen, we are made of chemicals. No duh. A different view of living beings. Then it's Dr. Bear Lando. Whatever. Well, I don't know what he's going to be talking about. And then Mark Gober, upside down reasoning. Sounds like a Glober. Alex Zek, reframing the contagion paradigm. And then Dr. Andy Kaufman, longevity unlocked, ancient wisdom, modern myths, and the 6 pillars of limited life. And then VIP Q&A panel, closing entertainment, VIP hangout. Is any of this worth anything like that?
Nah. Now, if they put David Weiss in there too, then I would do it. If David would show up, that's all I need.
David Weiss was there. Okay, guys, give me 2 seconds. I just got to quickly move my daughter quickly.
Would you do soft for Dave Weiss? I mean,
no.
Okay.
No, it's like that Klondike bar thing. It's like there's nothing I would do for some piss. No, okay.
All right.
Unless I had a jellyfish sting, then maybe that's a different story. You could pour it. You could piss on me. But
if I make it into a snow cone, would you do it?
Well, now you're starting to get tempting.
Okay.
I am a sucker for snow cones. So
just not yellow snow cones.
Jackass down here. What is Flatlanta? Hey, I'm only tentative as far as that's concerned. I'm probably not going to be able to make it because I think we have something planned anyway. But that just kind of hit me from the side. You want to speak at our event? I said, sure. I'm not getting paid or nothing, so you can ask Scam Sav any fucking thing you want to. I don't sell things. I don't have T-shirts. I don't have pay shit where you have to view anything or anything else like that. So you can take that, wrap it up real tight, and stick it up your ass. All right. Says all flat earthers are right and left are toxic bottom feeders. Well, it sounds like you have a real animosity problem at this point in time. Nobody's done anything to you except show you that you've been living a lie your whole life. So if that's your response to it, then by all means have at it and enjoy your anger, and I hope it feeds you well.
Is the guy that troll still in chat? Yeah.
Yeah. He's just too much of a coward.
Okay. Anyway,
Too much of a coward to speak.
have you guys not realized how obsessed Globers are with pee drinking?
Oh yeah, they got a whole thing. That's one of the categories on
Flurf Wiki or whatever.
Yeah, that Flurf Wiki. Whatever happened to that little wormy Woody Allen looking guy that was helping him out?
The guy that keeps pushing robotinism on everybody.
Yeah, a little
Peter Markley.
Peter Markley.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't really pay attention to that crowd anymore. So
I was like, that dude needs to be dewormed or something, man. Problems.
he's literally a mini McToon there. So,
that's people have goals.
Shoot high.
Might as well. Some are not as high as others, but
yeah.
But you can answer those big questions like, where are the guns, Nathan?
yes, where are the guns, Nathan?
That was funny though.
Listen,
Literally,
everybody's giving him shit on that. He gets beat up all over on Facebook. You wouldn't believe it, man. He gets beat up like it's not even funny, man. It's just he brings that shit up. People go, oh, shut up, you liar. You guys faked it. Where's the guns, Nathan?
Nathan lives rent free in that man's head, dude.
But did you see how triggered he got on that phone call though? I mean, the guy's alone walking around in the snow and literally going berserk.
Yes.
At Nathan. It's like, wow, okay. Like almost going to burst the vein in his forehead. It's like, what?
God, it's a shame it didn't.
You guys want to make a quick bet right quick? How much do you bet that he's actually buying Nathan's book when it comes out?
He will. You know he will. He's probably paid the money to watch this shit on the thing right now. This pay-per-view Jeranism vomit festival. What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. By the way, guys, I'm sure you guys can hit the likes. We've got double the amount of people in that likes on, so you can hit the likes. We'll really appreciate it. And the votes have gone up as well. People need to stop trusting man over God. 63% yes. No, 37%. Whoever said no, get your head checked.
Hawkins wants to get a ticket to that thing too, but they wouldn't accept a half a bag of stale Cheetos as their payment. So.
I thought you were talking about Steven for a minute, but yeah, Sean is not. That's
Sean.
not all he has, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Sean.
Get off my bridge, Billy Goat.
Well, if he saved up enough food coupons, he might be able to afford it after a year.
Yeah, they wouldn't accept food stamps for admission.
Well, that tells you. I mean, why doesn't Sean Hawkins do his own online
Yeah, there you go.
show? Come on, Sean.
Pay-per-view debate with Sean Hawkins. You can sit there and watch him blow on a piece of paper and not say anything.
Yeah, you can put on a kilt, do some
$79.95.
watch him blow on a piece of paper, and give ramblings of his time as a war veteran taking photographs in France while eating baguettes.
Well, he can also do like a whole day on 3D printing too. He's got the equipment.
Yeah. Then he can say why he likes the red dye better than the orange dye because
has a different flavor.
Where's my shadow, Nathan? That's what Jedi Stack said. Where's my
shadow?
Like you're trying to fool people. You're trying to assert power. You're trying to make. I'm trying to get into the mind of the flat earther, and it's like if if that's your argument, that it's control. They're trying to spoof you. They're trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Well, let's just tell all these people. Let's tell thousands.
I just want to point out, liar. No, not flat earth doesn't seem to cultivate the worst people. We're talking literally about globers here, not flat earthers.
How does someone that's supposed to be taken seriously look, liar? What do they look? What is the look that they have? Huh? What the hell is that? I mean, Jesus. It sounds to me like you're just really an angry little person. That's what it sounds like to me. You're just an angry little person, and you don't like the fact that people are talking about this subject. I was comfortable in my lie, and you're ruining it. You're ruining it for other people.
Yeah.
That advice I gave to the other guy about sitting down, taking a few breaths, you should take that too. The last part of that's the most important too.
Give him a serious
We
look
just
right
want to
quick.
point out as well. I think the worst cultivated people are Globers. You know how we know? All serial killers through history have been Globers. All psychopaths that we've seen lately are Globers. What about genocidal maniacs? Globers.
Look at
yeah,
Boone. He stalks people. He calls their employer trying to get him fired and shit. He chains little kids to poles. I mean, this guy is really a piece of work, man. You know?
Whatever. How did that story actually come out? Chaining children to poles.
He was getting ready to debate that Hakeem guy, right? And backstage prior to that, it was a thumbnail to a video about somebody making a rainbow. And at first glance, you look at the thumbnail and there's a kid in it, and it looks like he's tied to a pole or something. But it was a kid was helping with the experiment. It wasn't that at all. And Hakeem said, "What is that? A kid tied to a pole?" And fucking Toon lost his mind. We're not having this debate. Not with him. I'm not having people that talk like that and and make those kinds of accusations on here. And he lost his mind. And I was
Getting
like,
very. So he got very defensive over that. What does that usually tell you?
That he's a psychopath and he probably does that shit.
I can tell you the last person that got very defensive over stuff like this was Ozian.
Ozian did, yeah. And then,
what is Ozian now? He's in jail for the same things he was getting offended by, correct? That's weird.
Trying to pay a 15-year-old to do him, man. That's what. And it was a police sting. Oops.
Quite sad. Yeah, that's the type of Globers, guys.
Birds of a feather, baby.
And I mean, this is the same guy that told me I'm sick for telling Brenda he's a man when he literally is a man. Weird.
We're the Canaanites.
And then, let's take a group.
But but I mean, that's what the Bible says will be in the end days. Everything that is good will be called evil, and evil will be called good. And that's what we're seeing today.
Yep.
Glenn, what happened to Ozian is, if you haven't realized, Matters Now doesn't exist anymore because he got busted trying to prostitute a 15-year-old and didn't realize it was a sting operation by cops. Yeah. He even had some condoms with him. So he drove over to try and... Yeah. Yeah. Quite beautiful, is it not? No. All we can say is people are sick.
Group of celebrities up. Let's do that. I mean, they're reliable, right? Let's do that, but then we have to make them keep it quiet.
Well, I think part of the problem is, again, who do we trust? Verifiable sources are not really.
You're right.
You're on YouTube. You know, right? Who are you surrounded with on YouTube? Is it all people who are experts, legitimate experts? We just talked about expertise and how
appealing to credentials now and authority.
Here's the definition of an expert, okay? X is a has-been and a spurt is a drip under pressure. Enough said.
Has been spurt under pressure.
So, NASA is a reliable network to go to.
Oh, absolutely.
But NASA also has a YouTube channel, so what's that got to do with anything?
I hesitate to use that word for myself.
Yeah.
Because I am a learner. But
so other people aren't learners. Just because we're on YouTube, we're not learners. What's up, Charles?
Hey, guys. Talk up to the teacher.
How's it going, mate?
Very good. I'm losing brain cells listening to these two.
They're all dumb, aren't they?
I'm trying to be nice, but it's just
It's hard. I don't think we'll be
it's-
doing a
it's
part
hard.
3, just to let you know, because I have to literally stop every 2 seconds.
It is funny though. We got a lot of good content. I got a lot of good content coming. So, yeah.
Okay, let's carry on. See if we actually get further than maybe 50 minutes tonight.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people on the interwebs, I'm showing my age, who will say that they are an expert in anything. One of the examples I love to give
Whoa. Didn't you start your stream off telling everybody what an expert you are? I studied this. I studied that. I wrote a book on apologetics. I studied apologetics. I actually teach at a university. You're literally doing what you're saying people shouldn't do. And she's got a YouTube channel, correct?
Yep.
I guess so.
She's literally being a hypocrite.
Yep. A lot of that going around.
Because she claims to be an expert on YouTube.
that in my I am on Instagram, and so I get those beauty ads because I'm older and I'm like in their target demographic. But essentially, I'm supposed to be
No, you get those beauty ads is because you usually look at them. So if you're going to watch the ads, they're going to push more of the ads you watch. How's that in his excuse? Oh, it's because I'm in that demographic. Okay.
using like 50 products to keep wrinkles off of my skin, which I have wrinkles, I don't care, but 50 products. But then you land on a video from a dermatologist who's just talking about skin. And usually it's no, just use a soap.
Then why are you watching it if you say it doesn't matter to you? Do you realize you're just literally contradicting your own statements constantly? I don't care about the wrinkles, but let me tell you, I'm watching a video about dermatologists.
I think it's also worth noting, if you're going to watch a video about dermatologists, you might get those type of ads on those type of videos. Regardless of the demographic.
Yeah, she's like, oh, it's just because of my demographic, you know, they're pushing it. No, it's because of the things you're watching.
That's called algorithms, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They see what you watch. Yeah.
And,
I want to know
she
what
just-
makes these girls experts, though. Be
Yeah, and
honest.
she just outed herself, though, and she says, well, I popped out and I see there's a dermatologist video. Just after saying, I don't care about the wrinkles, then why are you watching a dermatologist video and telling us what's in the dermatologist video? You just told us you don't care about wrinkles.
I think the lady does protest too much, right, Sock?
Mhm.
You're sitting there looking at wrinkle ads, and you're worried about wrinkles. You know.
Yes.
And a moisturizer with SPF. That's it. That's all you need.
Sunscreen and drink a lot of water.
That's it. Well, yes. And of course,
Just have a good diet. You literally don't need sunscreen. Make sure you drink water. Yes, that's a good thing.
Don't use
But have a
sunscreen.
good diet.
Don't use sunscreen. That's what causes the cancer.
That's what I'm saying. You don't need sunscreen.
Yep.
So
I hear
it's
2
really,
avocados a day will get rid of them.
so it's quite sad. She does look like she uses too much sunscreen, to be honest.
She looks crazy. It's a red flag. That's a
water.
red
Yes.
flag right there.
Not 50 products, but when people who trust people on the internet, it's information that I'm seeing on my screen. They're not discerning who's the expert and who's not. They're not verifying their sources. We see this. It's not just don't use Wikipedia.
Whoa. Are you calling a dermatologist not an expert in the field? Did you study dermatology? Last time I checked, you didn't. So what makes you an expert over the dermatologist? Are you literally being a hypocrite again because you're calling flat earthers not experts in flat earth, but you are saying a dermatologist is not an expert in dermatology because you say so? Am I getting that right, guys?
It sounded about right. But I mean, what is the equivalency between a dermatologist expert and a flat earther? I don't think they're anywhere near each other at all. She's making an example out of it, right? So she's trying to say, don't trust everybody on the internet, right? Basically.
Yeah. Sorry, Lila, we have to stop every 2 to 3 seconds because every 2 to 3 seconds she says something idiotic.
Just
If she didn't say anything, if she didn't stop saying everything 2 to 3 seconds, so stupid, we wouldn't have to stop every 2 to 3 seconds to correct her. So yes, it is a review. Unfortunately, we have to stop every 2 to 3 seconds because every 2 to 3 seconds she goes and she contradicts herself or says something really idiotic.
Right? It's who is the source that you're trusting? What is their level of expertise? How long did they study this field or this topic? How do they know? Where are they getting their information from? Nobody's asking that question, it seems like. We're all...
Because you're on social media. You don't really care how long they studied or want to know their background, where they were born. You're just watching the information, you're enjoying the content presented. Really? I don't need to know when you had a poop, in what toilet, in what house, just because you're a person on the show. Come on. I don't need to know details of what you ate last night just because you're on the show. Why do you need to know the person's history just because they have a channel? Really odd.
Yeah.
This sounds to me almost like a cop-out of why you shouldn't trust people.
Most of the people in the flat earth community were actually showing you go do this for yourself. They weren't like, hey, trust me, bro, you know?
Yeah, it's really weird. I mean, she's just trusting Will Duffy as an expert, is she not?
Yeah. An expert at what? Lying?
Probably trusting McToon and them as experts as well. Is she keeping to the same standard she's holding this person to dermatology on? I highly doubt it.
Yeah. It's not like she has much, and she said she did research, right, in this topic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Quite weird.
I know.
Just absorbing the information and hoping that it's correct. But we know misinformation is everywhere.
Yes.
Yes, misinformation is everywhere. Hence your stream, why we have to review your stream, because you're sending misinformation about flat Earth.
Totally agree. And by the way, has misinformation tried to come in lately?
No.
Good.
There's a psychology behind it. People like secret stuff. They like secret knowledge. They like
doesn't. If you feel that makes you feel powerful.
Yes.
You're like, well, I know that they know. And that makes me special.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Another thing you guys are doing. Flat Earth is not special knowledge. It's not secret. It's literally observed reality. There's nothing secret about flat Earth. What the hell are you going on about?
Well, this is also very good insight into thinking into them. It shows that they feel insignificant. They feel unimportant. They feel not special at all. Doesn't mean that that's what we feel that we are. I don't feel like I'm special. I just have woken up to the bullshit, you know?
Maybe they feel like they aren't, they're outed from our group, so they feel left out. Maybe it's a coping mechanism. I don't know.
No, I would accept them into flat Earth if they wanted to come in and talk to us about
it. It's not really like it's not a club.
It's not a club, exactly. There's nothing to accept.
You either realize the true nature of the Earth or you don't. That's all. It doesn't mean we're all in lockstep and have agreements and we get together and have secret meetings and all this other bullshit. That's not what happens.
But that's what I find funny about thing like TFE. They're all going around, we converted all these flat earthers. Do you know that's cold talk? I converted this Jehovah's Witness. I converted this person to my belief system. Yeah,
Well,
that's called a cult. If you're converting people to a religion, you literally declaring globe belief as a
yep.
religion.
Think about it in this respect. Okay, you've seen the faith healers. Okay, and they travel around and they heal people of these ailments and everything, right? And they touch them on the head. And here's a guy that's in crutches, and he drops his crutches and starts running around. He's picking these people out of the audience and healing them. Then people in the audience are working with him. They're not really sick. Okay, so it's just like this. We converted, we healed some flat earthers. No, you didn't. They weren't flat earthers to begin with.
It's all scripted.
Okay, it's a show, and the whole show is just for you. See, that's what people don't get.
But that's the thing. It's just the show. And like I said, they're so proud of saying we're converting people. Literally, when you do that, you are trying to concede you have a belief religion system. You're converting people to it. We don't say, oh, we convert people to flat earth. No, if you're a flat earther, great for you. You've realized reality. There's no such thing as converting people to flat earth because we're not a religion.
Well, you know, if you want to do something like that, you could start do a summit, and you could charge people money, and you could have them come over, and you could tell them all these secrets.
Yeah, but like I said, flat earth it's not a secret society. It's not hidden knowledge. It's literally, that's what reality is. It's very open, hence why we're on the intervals showing the earth to be flat. If it was a secret, we wouldn't be saying it to everybody. We would be like a secret society. Oh, you want to join a club? I got some secret information for you. Go to this link and we'll keep it secret. Yeah, we don't do that. We literally just tell you, hey, guess what? No curve. Guess what? No spinny testicle. Guess what? No violation of natural law. Guess what? The earth's flat.
I heard somebody say deal with it.
Yeah, deal with it. That's exactly, deal with it. Oh, guys, please hit the likes. I'm on 33 likes. I don't like that. Come on.
That is very, very powerful. And
it seems like a big responsibility, though. I don't care to know all the secrets. That seems like a lot of pressure. And, you know, I am a good secret keeper, but how many secrets?
Oh, good secret keeper, but you just moaned a few minutes ago that how can people keep secrets?
Yep.
Flash, you're doing a horrible job of keeping Flat Earth a secret, man. You have a channel devoted to it. I don't get
but
it.
this woman is literally contradiction crazy. Everything she speaks about is contradiction. She goes against her own statements. It doesn't stop. Look at this. I really pray these ladies go on your show and learn our biblical position. But I'm not holding my breath. No, they probably won't come on my little puny channel.
No.
Because if you don't have like 1 million subscribers, I'm not even going to look at your content. Why? Because I'm all for the influence.
Yeah.
Remember, for these people, for these people, it's all just about publicity. It's not really about truth. Hey, LJ, what's up? Thank you for your $2. I really appreciate it. It says, if you do part 3 of this, I will delete YouTube app. I'm not going to do part 3. This is like hectic. Why do you think we're still live? We're trying to get through some more. But I appreciate the super chat, LJ. You rock. That's a good one. Man.
Can one person hold? And that just, again, comes back to humanity. Human beings aren't naturally good secret keepers.
No.
We're not trustworthy. And you don't have to be a girl to know that. I think guys know that too. And
now she's literally categorizing differences between male. What? Is that a bit of feminism there?
And she threw the whole human race under the bus there for a second. We can't keep secrets.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of feminist as well?
Yeah.
Like, oh, kind of separating men from women, saying who can keep secrets or not. That's weird.
So I get not trusting the government. I get it. I can sympathize. I know that the government has lied about things, right? There's
But yet you
evidence
trust them.
that has come out over history. I like to use Watergate as an example because I was a journalism major, right? So that was a big thing in my studies as a journalist was, studying how secrets get kept by the government and how they get uncovered.
Wow. And yet you ask dumb questions like, how can people at NASA lie?
Yeah.
Was she really good at her job then?
I would say no.
She's what we would call a place filler.
NPC
She
kind of thing.
Yeah, she reminds me of like, I worked for this media company. What did you do? Oh no, I just brought the coffee. But I was a journalist there, No, we saw her whole, how can I say, discernment when it comes to how people can hold secrets. I don't think her journalistic skills are really good, to be honest.
No. Her investigative skills suck. She might know English, but in grammar, and that's as far as it goes. Her investigative prowess is like non-existent.
But I mean, if you use logic, like, yeah, guys, I studied journalism. I know the government lies. And in the same breath, well, I can trust the government. What is wrong with you?
Well, it's Stockholm
Well, I think you
syndrome,
have
right?
to set the standard. You have to say, this is why I can trust them here and why I don't trust them here. Without setting the standard as, oh yeah, here's the reason why over here it's okay to trust them. Without saying that, then there's no reason to trust them on something else. And she hasn't set that standard. So there's no way to say, oh, well, it's okay for this because there's this proof. Like, she hasn't even said anything.
Well, it's like this, and it's exposure. It's exposure too. How exposed to the information have you been? There's very careful stopgaps put in place to keep you from receiving the information. For instance, several years ago, I remember seeing an interview with a man named Larry Sinclair, who claimed to have been in a limo and partied with Barack Obama, smoking crack and giving oral sex to each other. Now, this guy came out, swore to it, signed affidavits, and the videos got highly suppressed, but it was still out there. And it wasn't until recently that people started getting exposed to that interview and that man's story. So now it became more people found out about it. But it isn't hard for them to suppress information on people. Who's going to listen to a couple little people over here and a couple little people over there that are saying something? Only the ones with discerning minds. Those that have the tendency to want to appeal to authority are going to be watching CNN. They're going to be watching Fox News, MSNBC, because, those are news authorities. Are they? Or are they propaganda outlets? See, this is the thing that you don't understand, and a lot of people don't understand. Your mind is under attack 24/7, man, as well as your spirit.
I turned all those off.
But I mean, like you've been saying earlier, okay? She's like, she's determining what is right and wrong with lying, but she can't deduce how naive the way she's trying to argue against the lying. I mean, when it comes to compartmentalization, you don't need to know you're lying to do anything. The only ones that are up higher have gotten into the stuff so deep that they're forced to lie. Let's for instance take
that are
Duffy.
feeding you the lie, right, Wes?
Yeah, let's for instance take Duffy. How do you know he's not forced to do what he's doing right now because of all the stuff that's against him? You know what I mean? How? You don't know.
You can't. No.
There are so many whistleblower sites now that it would be really hard for this to stay under wraps.
Yes.
I just can't imagine that happening.
Could whistleblowers be fake too? I don't know. Maybe like you get plants and fake flat earthers like Jaren, you might just get fake whistleblowers too. Ever thought of that? Oh wait, you study journalism. You should know this.
Do you remember Snowden when he came out as a whistleblower?
Mhm.
And what happened to him? Nothing. He left the country. That was it. He's still. I'm pretty sure he's a plant. People like that make.
They put him in prison, dude. He just got out of prison.
Did Snowden did he go to jail? I didn't know that. Huh.
I didn't know that either.
Oh,
Was that like a Russian prison?
Assange. Yeah, he just got out.
I know Julian. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You know Julian. You know Julian.
I know. Yeah, personally. Yes,
The
he
people that are
came
telling
over
the truth-
tonight.
the people that are telling the truth, they end up getting black bagged or censored. It's that simple. Look at Bill Cooper. What happened to him? Right? These people don't. If they will go to any lengths to keep you believing this lie, and not just the globe. It's everything. How many times have you heard these idiots say, "Oh, Israel is our greatest ally in the Middle East, and they are peaceful and democratic and shit"? And what are we actually seeing, as opposed to what they continuously say? We're seeing the exact opposite of that. But they still continue to say it. It goes right back to Joseph Goebbels. If you repeat a lie often enough and loud enough, it becomes truth.
Yeah, and I think
Well,
that ties
don't
back too, because that's an inter-party type thing, bro. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, you're going to support Israel no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things where it's like, yeah, you're so right about that. Yeah.
Well, so actions speak louder than words, and when you're shooting missiles at your neighbors, I mean,
Yes. Yes.
And then blaming your neighbors for it.
Well, think about it. Everything they
It's your fault I shot you.
everything they accuse Iran of is what they're doing. They basically went, "Oh, you guys looked at us funny, and we think that you're going to do something, so we're going to blow you up." What? You don't get to do that. Iran hasn't attacked anybody in over 250 years. They've abided by the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty. They abide by Nuclear Energy Regulation Commission inspections. All of these things, Israel does not. Israel has never disclosed their nuclear arsenal. They will not submit to inspections. They have not signed the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty. They have done everything that we would say constitutes a terrorist state, yet we're against the people that did abide by these things. And
Could not all this just be scripted?
Well, yeah, I think it's a big psyop, especially on the Christian community, because there's Christians out there that would hear what we just said, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're anti-Israel. You're going to
I
hell.
am
Let's go."
anti-Israel. I am 100%
But that's
anti-Israel.
the psyop. They got a lot of the Christian community into like, if you don't bootlick the Jews, then you're like basically the Antichrist.
Yep. No, I'm totally anti-Israel. They're antithetic to everything that they say they are.
Yep.
they're above the law and above protest. So that's the way they are. They can't be touched. They're Israel, as it goes politically speaking. They don't answer to anybody at all.
Wesley, there could have been no such thing as a Jew prior to the 16th or the 15th century. Sorry. It didn't even exist as a word.
Hebrew Israelites, they existed.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, let's move on.
You should probably just not ever talk, Wesley. Everything you say is just retarded.
I agree.
It's really hard for me to believe that.
And see, this is after your research, after really trying to understand the flat earther position
Yeah.
and what the belief is. Now, I have a follow-up on this. Now, we mentioned before people who came to faith because of flat earth.
Yeah. So I
want to.
have a friend who came to faith because of Joel Osteen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I have. I was raised in a home that we watched pastors on basically whatever televangelist was on television.
Yep.
That's who I watched because it was safe TV.
Yep.
Right. Growing up, I get my little TV tray out and I would sit and have my Cheerios and I would watch whatever.
Okay, I want to ask: does Joel Osteen preach that Jesus is God, or does he preach you need to give me money so you can be prospered by God?
Well, the latter of the two flats, I'm sure.
I don't see Joel Osteen ever really giving how can I say it, any altar calls. So how did Joel Osteen bring someone to God if he didn't give them an altar call? Did they pay for their salvation?
No, but if you buy his books, you can be saved.
Hmm.
Mm.
So yeah, that's quite interesting. She's literally, have you realized she's attacking any kind of way that is able to bring people to God? So in other words, because you're a flat earther and it brought you to God, that's wrong. Just like Joel Osteen has brought people to God, so that's wrong. No, you're supposed to be celebrating if they became a Christian, not how they became a Christian. That's the difference. Not how
Yeah,
they
like,
became a Christian, that they did become a Christian.
well, you'll know them by their fruits, right, Flats? Like, look at Jim and Tammy Faye Baker, for instance. He spent 5 years in the federal penitentiary for what? Defrauding his followers for money. The same with all of these guys. They that's all they're about. They're not about the gospel, but they use the gospel to prosper themselves. Because there's a lot of dumb people that will want to feel good about things and give them money. They're playing on people's sympathies.
Yeah, I just want to say to people in chat, everybody has different views on things, okay? So stop trying to rope everybody into the same views.
Yeah.
I think it's a good analogy, bro, because even us as flat earthers, we might have different views, maybe even as Christians, but ultimately we're still flat earthers, we're still brothers in Christ. We don't need to divide each other. Now, if I start saying Christ doesn't save, then yeah, okay, divide for sure. But I see a lot of division based on very like minute things that maybe aren't very central to the actual topic at hand.
Agreed. Okay.
Our preacher usually is Jimmy Swaggart, right? God can use anybody to call people to himself. It doesn't mean that everything in their theology is necessarily correct. And this is why we need to remember that truth is aligned with reality.
Great. And flat earth is reality. Well done.
I agree with her.
Yeah.
It's not what the general consensus believes. So I asked AI what truth is several months ago, and it spouted out truth is aligned with reality, which I was like, right on, AI, you got that right. But then the second option was it's whatever most people believe is true, whatever most people believe is right. And I was like, getting a little sketchy there, right? Because that's
why are you
not
getting
really
sketchy there? That's what you're teaching AI algorithm to believe.
Yep.
Why do you think the AI says if you ask what's the shape of the earth, it says globe? Because you taught it to follow consensus.
Yep.
It's not alive. Let's put it that way. It can't think for itself.
It's called GIGO.
One zeros.
It's called GIGO. It stands for garbage in, garbage out. Okay, so whatever you put into it is what comes out. All right, it's not a living sentient creature. AI is not know-all. All it does is scan the freaking internet and give you answers based on it. It does it at unhuman speeds, but that's what it's doing. People need to wake up, man. Realize what you're really dealing with here. And no, Jesus was not a Jew. He was a Nazarene. Okay? He was not a Judean. He was a Nazarene. Stop.
I don't want to get off topic here, but can
So we
you
just
kind
need
of
to be
like
careful.
explain that just a little bit? Like I said, I know that's not like the central topic, but I'm curious in that. I'm not
Well,
too
just
familiar
to
with it.
look at a map of that area at the time. You'll see an area called Judea. You'll see an area called Nazareth, right?
Right.
The people from Judah were Judean, right? And then the people from Nazareth were Nazarene. Okay, most of them were of the Hebrew faith, not the Jewish faith, the Hebrew faith.
Right.
And yes,
Yeah, I
somebody
mean,
said something about
I agree with that.
Canaanites.
Yeah.
Were Canaanites evil? Yes, Canaanites became evil because they indulged in cannibalism and sodomy and other such blasphemous activities. So, yes.
And then
Thank you
the
for the
Hebrews want to
explanation.
go in and to end the basically the evil that the Canaanites were involved with. Did God actually commission them to go wipe out the Canaanites?
Right?
Yeah.
God. You just pick up little bits and pieces of shit you hear at church when you're in between naps and then just think you got it, right? Come on. Can't be listening to the ball game in one ear and the sermon on the other ear and think you're going to pick up anything. Come on.
He went as far to tell them to kill the animals too, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Don't
what
believe
animals
anything.
they have? Most hybrids and shit like that were created. These people were Nephilims. Come on, they've been totally infiltrated and bred in with these Nephilim.
Welcome to
I.e.
Babylon.
the flood. That's why we had the flood.
Maybe we need another one.
Oh no, he won't.
God said he was gonna do
No,
it
he said already. He said he wasn't going to flood us again.
Next one is
time, it's
burn.
going to be fire. It's going to be fire.
The next one is having a bride, baby.
Yep. Yeah, hot.
It's gonna get hot here.
I can also sympathize with flat earthers who are looking for a community.
Yes.
I was a little odd. I know you can't imagine that. I was a little odd as a young person.
Yeah.
I read a lot and I was very nerdy, long live the nerds. And I'm an introvert. So I didn't have like a huge group of friends. Having people who are like-minded that you can go hang out with, and that you get along with, that is a lovely.
What am I running from, Wesley? Sov made his point. I'm just moving on. Like I said, people can disagree on things, and we're moving on with this topic. There's no running. I'm not even part of the discussion.
Why are you even here, Wesley? Shut the fuck up.
So I'm running from a discussion I'm not even a part of. That's weird. Okay.
But this girl,
Mark Sargent
this girl,
walking through.
Hold on. She got stuck in the 80s, didn't she? She's a Valley girl. You can hear it in her voice. But I can actually see her being a social misfit. But she's
She doesn't look very introverted to me, to be honest. She's talking a lot.
Oh, yeah. She is talking a lot.
And she seems very confident in what she's saying. That's a bit against what
Yeah. She's kind of over asserting things too. She's really vocal about it. Yeah.
The Flat Earth Conference, right? Where I don't know if it was a conference or a convention, but I don't know what title they used. But people were walking up to him and saying, thank you so much for having your YouTube channel. I feel part of the group. And let me give you this flat earth model that I created for you. So he feels really welcomed by this community. I think he finds a lot of love from this community. He has a little bit of superiority with this community. And so I wonder so he has turned down trips to Antarctica.
Aw. But wasn't he also called out as a shill many times by the community? So that's a bit weird. How does he have superiority in the community that's literally calling him a shill? Makes so much sense.
I wonder if faced with reality, whether he would stay. Like there are some high control groups where or cults where people will stay in those groups because they don't want to lose their community.
Yes.
They're just secretly not believing anymore.
Yes.
And I wonder if that's true of some flat earthers, maybe not Mark Sargent, but other flat earthers who have really found their people.
There we go.
And they look.
She obviously doesn't know what flat earthers are.
And I don't consider Mark Sargent a leader in the community.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Mark Sargent is called out by the community he's so-called being a leader of, you claiming to be, as a shill.
I remember the last time he was on this live stream, he said, well, all publicity is good publicity, and that's all I needed to know, because he doesn't care if he makes himself look like an ass. He thinks it's all good. Because he's not making himself look like an ass. He makes everybody who believes flat earth look like an ass, because he's like the problem child of flat earth.
Yeah, he's like the self-proclaimed leader. Just like Robbie Davidson is a self-proclaimed leader of it. Everybody's just wedged in under these people by
Well,
them.
that's all,
Nobody.
and that's look, man. There again, that's in that belief that we're all some race or something, or that we're all some club. It's not that. We have seen that the world is not a globe, and we're opening that up to other people. It doesn't mean we're all the same. It doesn't mean we're all in lockstep with every other freaking issue on the board. I mean, what in the world is this type of thinking? If that's why I try to use that example, and it just seems to blow right over their head when they do that. Oh yeah, every serial killer in history was a globe believer. So what does that mean? Because they believed in the globe, that's what they engaged in this practice? No, it had nothing to do with it. There's other people that believe that the earth is a globe, that they're some of the nicest people in the world and would give you anything that they had if you needed it. It's just whether or not you are under the spell or not under the spell. That's all. Stop treating it like it's a race, and then they try to single it out as a sect and all this other shit, because that's the only way that they can really attack it. If we remain individuals that just realize that the earth is not a globe, what are they going to attack?
Well, they got to have something to attack. That's why they
No,
created
that's
this.
it. You don't
Well,
give
they'll
them
probably
any.
attack your character because that's what they like to do is just call you dumb and stupid and you look bad and you're ugly and whatever else they can come up with.
And Wesley, if you believe that, then by all means go right ahead. I don't. Okay? You go ahead and believe whatever it is you want to believe. I don't believe that. I know better than that. And your restating of it is never going to change anything. Okay? Nothing ever going to change anything. So you're just wasting your time.
Did he just call you son?
All right.
No, Ryan. He's talking to Ryan. He said, Ryan, check your Bible, son. All right.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Okay, you're calling my racist ass out. Now what? Now what? Are you under the impression I'm hiding, or that what you say becomes fact or something? You're some kind of a retarded asshat that can do nothing more than be in chat. You can't even come up on panel and have a discussion, you see? So no, it doesn't matter. Oh, it's in your Bible. I never found that in the Bible. Are you talking about your Schofield Jew Bible? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I believe that they have changed it to say that in your Schofield Bible, manipulated by Jews. Absolutely. Do you find it anywhere in the Tinsdale? How about that one? How about the Geneva Bible? Do you find it anywhere in there? No. Get over yourself, Jack.
Okay, let's see if we can go, but because it actually got to end.
Look at the thing in Antarctica and they're like, oh, that convinces me it's not true. But I don't want to lose my friends or these people whom I've called family. Or I don't want to go back with my tail between my legs and tell my family that I was wrong.
Yeah.
Because there's a sense of pride that comes with that too, where you have accepted this belief is true and you're willing to lose your family and your friends over it. And then you're like confronted with reality.
Don't you realize that losing friends and family is not from the flat earther side? That's from the glober side. So where does that tell you the issue is from? Where does that tell you the issue's from? The flat earther or the globers?
No. I'll tell you, hey, Wesley, I'll tell you something that Jesus wasn't, and that's a Khazarian pretending to be a Jew. Okay? He wasn't from Poland like Netanyahu.
Pretending to be something he's not.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we can end this because they're not going to get anywhere with these people. It's anyway
Wesley
later.
must like you, Stav. I'm telling you.
Wesley's got a
lot.
hard on for me. Wesley's got a hard on for me, poor little faggot.
Yeah, guys, I don't need to defend Sov. That's why I don't need to say anything. He can defend himself.
He's a grown man, yeah.
I don't know why people always try and drag me into anything. It's like, if there's usually an argument between someone Flats has to intervene or be the middleman. For what?
Look here, the South hates the idea of races separating us, but hates the Jews. I don't hate anyone. I recognize what is occurring, okay? I don't hate rattlesnakes, but I don't go fucking with them either, do I? Huh? I don't invite them to come live in my house, do I? No. Doesn't mean I hate them. It just, I am aware of what they do. Okay?
Well, I don't blame you for not bringing rattlesnakes home with you. So,
Well, there you go, man. It's just like you recognize something and you take precautions to not deal with it. There it is. Boom.
People have free speech,
I don't.
guys.
Never mind. I was gonna
Yeah.
make a joke, but maybe it's not.
No, I'm just saying, people have free speech, guys. Really, deal with it.
And
Kind of seems like we have a dictatorship chat going on, don't we?
It's a mentality. It's a mentality. Yeah. A Borg mentality. They're already part of the Borg and they want everybody else to be part of the Borg too. See, that's all.
you got to assimilate.
You will
gotta
be
assimilate.
assimilated. No, you
Anyway.
come to be a disruptor, and because you don't have anything else in the world, this is all you. In fact, you've probably got caught doing something, and that's why you have to come. See, just like Ozian and McToon. See, you got this is here. Are you gonna ruin your second chance too, like Ozian? Are you? Probably. Probably.
Saddlebomb being a member for 17 months. Woohoo! Really appreciate it. He says, thanks again, Keith. Take care, everyone. Yeah, you rock, man. Appreciate all your support. You rock. So yeah, you have a show coming up, Soph?
Yeah, I'm probably going to do one tonight. My wife's out of town, and I ain't got nothing going on here this evening. So, yeah, I'll probably have one usual time, 9:30. There's a lot of stuff going on. I haven't even looked here since I've been out and about doing stuff today, and then on here, I don't even know what's going on with these No Kings protests that are happening supposedly all over the United States right now. I don't know.
What's your channel name?
Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. Here, I'll put a link
Cool.
down in the chat. Just a moment.
Definitely well worth it to go watch. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll try to make that live stream if I can.
Oh, you got this.
And then Roger, you want to put your link in as well?
Sure, I'll give them my link. And those protests are probably peaceful. What do you agree?
Oh, yeah. But most peaceful but fiery.
Yeah.
Peaceful but fiery protests.
Those are just magic tricks, you know. They're just there to look pretty.
Yeah.
Okay.
There, did you get that?
Yeah.
Good going. Let me put it. I'll put it over here in the private chat too.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, go. Should have a good time. We had a pretty good show last night.
World War III.
Yes. A lot of shit going on and stuff, and the mainstream news is really censoring a lot of what's actually happening to Israel. Tel Aviv got nailed hard. And here's what Israel's doing, though. You know how they're always accusing Hamas uses human shields. They've got their damn air defense missiles and shit set up right in the middle of residential areas. I watched it. They had, you see, like 2 or 3 missiles come firing out of an anti-aircraft unit down in the middle of all these apartments and shit. And then all of a sudden, a missile came in and took that out and blew at these half of these buildings and shit. They're saying, "Oh, look, they're targeting civilian infrastructure." No, dude, you're doing exactly what you are accusing everybody else of, using your own population as human shields. Part of the Samson option, or not the Samson option, the Hannibal directive. See, they'll go in there, they'll wipe out a few of their own people and shit, and then make it, "Oh, look what they did to us." It's almost the kind of same mentality as when the man that beats his wife and says, "See what you made me do to you." You know, that same thing right there. So yeah, they got hit pretty hard, man. And the Iron Dome is a failure. It is a failure. These hypersonic missiles and drones and shit are getting through. And
it's not supposed to.
Yeah. See, their whole thing was that's what they expected, but then it's going to leave no alternative but for the U.S. and the U.K. to intervene, which is exactly what their whole thing is. They want us. They've been trying to get us to go to war with Iraq for them since, jeez, man, all the way back in the 80s. How many times have we heard Netanyahu tell us that Iran is only a few short months away from having a nuclear bomb? You've been saying that for 40 years, BB. You've been saying that for 40 years. How long is a few short months to you? So you think that they might do something despite the fact that they haven't threatened you? They haven't attacked you? They're not seeking nuclear arms. They abide by all the inspections. They've signed the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty, which Israel has not. And so you're just going to go ahead and bomb them because you think they might do something. That was an unwarranted act of war, and you deserve whatever repercussions come from it. We're seeing that China has vowed support, and they're sending 800 missiles to Iran. North Korea has vowed support. All the BRICS nations, Russia, of course. So who's there to support Israel? Certainly not their neighbors, because they pick fights with all their neighbors too. So there's going to be either the U.S. goes in or Israel goes away. It's one of those two options is going to come about.
No, it's odd. The Bible does talk about this happening in the end times.
Mm-hmm. This is the gathering of the armies at Armageddon.
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly what it is.
Well, it's not about race at all. Then it's about land. It's about
They want control of the Euphrates. They want control of the all the seaways. They want the oil. It's part of the Greater Israel Project. That's what they've been doing. They've been after this. That's what the 6 Days War was all about. They tried to act like Egypt was attacking the USS Liberty, because when that boat would sink, then they could garner U.S. support to go ahead and go in there and intervene on the side of Israel. We didn't, because the false flag attack got interrupted. As it stands, they still took the Golan Heights, and they've kept them all this time. It used to belong to Syria.
Like the Levant affair. They try to blame it on Egypt too. They planned that out.
Yep. The entire country is born out of terrorism. Yet they accuse everybody else of being terrorists. It's more of that, accuse people of what you're doing. And that's just the reality of it, man. They've been lulled to sleep with a little song, and they haven't looked at what really has happened, what has occurred, how the origins of this thing even took place. And ever since 1948, that whole area has been a kettle pot of destruction and war.
I think the British government sent them boys down there after the war, didn't they? Like before they became a nation, they cut loose the I don't know, I'm going to say the word.
The Balfour Declaration.
Yeah.
Right? Then they turn around and just graciously gave Palestine to Lord Rothschild. What? How do you give somebody's land to somebody as a gift? What the hell is that? And old Rothschild, even when the Jews were trying to escape Europe in the 40s, there was boats loads of them showed up at Palestine, and Rothschild turned them away. Nobody'd take them.
That sounds racist still.
Well, actually, it goes right along with the father of modern political Zionism, Theodore Herzl, and his quote as saying that it is important that we increase the suffering of the Jew. The anti-Semite will become our greatest ally in realizing a homeland for the Jewish people.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm going to end. It was a great stream. Appreciate you guys coming in. Make sure to catch Solved later live, and Roger as well. Yeah, we're not doing part 3 of these people.
Let's watch two really bad actresses.
Yeah, it was bad. But I definitely hope to see you guys tonight for another stream. Many, many blessings. Hit the likes on the way out if you haven't already, guys. And if you missed the stream we had earlier about Satan's short season roundtable, it is also done today. Make sure to catch that too. So many, many blessings. See you guys all later. Cheers.
Have a good one, man.
Later,
Thanks.
everybody.
You're saying.
Auf Wiedersehen.